Hello. Oh, but it's so hot again. How we doing, chat? Let's go live. What do you reckon? It's going to be a whole minute early.
Steve's not going to believe it.
Can you believe it, chat? It's a whole minute early. A whole minute early. This is like a new trend happening now with me. I was early yesterday and the Tuesday and now on a Thursday. I am not late. My time still says 19:44. Should have been 43 because I'm really looking forward to that game. I really hope it's good. You were saying something about BT.
Oh yeah. I signed up at the end of last month and they told me a provisional date on Monday and Tuesday for an engineer to come check the building, for the engineer to then fit stuff later. And I was in Monday and Tuesday and they said I failed the check because nobody could said they phoned me, even though they didn't. Anyway, yeah. They said, oh, well, I got a message saying, oh, we'll go today. Literally nothing again. So, it's taking a piss.
Nah, you can hear Chille. You're just saying that.
So,
I can see Chille's voice appearing.
so yeah, it's taking the piss. I want my 1 gig line, Chaos. I want good internet. I'm near mute, supposedly.
You're near mute. That's not possible.
Yeah, Chille is so low I can't hear him. Hi. Hello.
That's not possible.
I'm licking the mic.
No, you're at max. Edit mic settings.
Alright, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, you're now at max on here. I think they're just pulling our leg.
Boom!
Oh, you're going to be loud
There you
now.
go.
You're going to be loud now.
Like, I can't get any closer to... I literally can't get closer to the mic. I'm literally licking the mouth guard right now.
Too much
Well, I'm not
information.
licking it, but...
Way too much information.
How about now?
No, now you sound really bassy. Like you're...
I'm going to sit normally. Good videos, by the way, on the FTC stuff.
Oh, thank you. We're going to be talking about a bit about that today.
I just watched the second one before you went live.
It's pretty crazy how it's turned out, right? Because the FTC.
I mean,
really
we all knew.
screwed up.
I mean, we all knew this is how it end, right? If Microsoft won, this is how it was going to end. It was always going to be this.
But there's literally nothing now that anyone can actually do.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Go listen to our podcast. We've been saying this for years.
let's start the show. Chille, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you always being here.
Thank you.
Is that Ethan in the background of your picture?
No, it's the new raid tier.
I still need to get back into 14. It's been so long since I've actually jumped into it. But Chille, tell us what you've been doing this week. I know you're out and about in London. You've been playing some games like Pac-Man and Wonder Boy. That's actually leading somewhere, so trust me, it's actually kind of cool. But tell us what you've been up to.
No, I went to York, which was a lot of fun. I went to see Thunderbolts, which, by the way, I'd recommend. Good movie. I warn you, it's weird that I'm going to say this about a Marvel movie. It can be quite emotionally challenging, so if you do have some problems with certain... Just a heads up that it can be quite dark, like emotionally dark, more than actually dark. So just a heads up. It's a good movie that I do recommend it, and they did cover the topics really well. I had a lovely tomahawk steak while I was there. It was delicious. Not in the cinema. I wish we did that. That'd be cool. Apart from that, I've been playing a lot of gaming. I've been doing more 14, more Expedition 33, and just keeping videos up on YouTube with Bleach and stuff. So apart from that, yeah, that's what I've been up to. Oh, and I bought tickets for the end of the month for the Doctor Who finale in York as well.
Oh, nice.
So I'm excited for that. What about you? What have you been up to?
Me. Outside of work, I've been playing a bit of WoW, playing a bit of Expedition 33, lots of YouTube stuffing and Twitch stuffing, and that's it really. Same crap every week. Obviously, supposed to go get some medical stuff today, but I got a call and said, that ain't happening. So yeah, it's the usual for me. Just lots of bits of gaming and chilling. I've been watching a new TV series on Amazon. It's actually a British series, I think, called The Bondsman. And it's actually kind of good. I like it. It's got Kevin Bacon in there.
Nice. I don't think I've really watched anything on Amazon except for that one with David Tennant. What you call it?
Gaming, I haven't.
It was the. And yeah, that I'm waiting for the next season of that. By the way, it's a Pratchett series. Well, it's based on Pratchett books, and I'm excited. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I'm excited for that.
Excellent. I forgot to set that up for you. You know to do it. It's that cable there, and then the power cable should still be plugged in. It's the last one on the left. I was just setting up the Xbox on my PC monitor, my work monitor.
Nice.
I usually set it up once I finish so he can sit down and play. Because I've got the Series X plugged in. Like, he doesn't like playing on big screens. He likes playing on smaller screens so he can see the whole screen. And
yeah, as I've got older, I used to like big screens. I used to buy big screens, but now I prefer monitors and stuff like that when gaming. Yeah, especially when raiding, because it means everything's. I don't have to look around.
Yeah, that's this thing. When he's playing Rocket League, you know, it's my son that beat Steve like multiple times, and humbled Steve in the 1-to-1. That kid, he doesn't like playing on the big TV.
What was that again? Who was it? Did he beat again?
Yeah, it was Steve that he beat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
How close are you to the TV? Not that close. I don't know. I don't really have great. Is it peripheral vision where you got long? Yeah, you can see it very far. I'm very like I'm. My eyes are like. My view is like square. Like if you're to the side of me, I've lost you probably. That's it. Good omens. Bullets kill. Yeah, good omens.
That's it.
You're right. That's it. Bullets. Good omen. I'm excited for the season 3 of that. That's one of the only shows on Amazon I actually ever watched.
Yeah. Well, there goes my slippers.
Hey, Paul.
So I was going to start with something else this morning. Well, morning.
Okay.
This evening.
It's morning somewhere.
But there is something else that I actually want to tackle today. And this is why I said Wonder Boy. And I think it's quite important that we tackle this. Because ININ Games, and for those of you that don't know ININ Games, they are a company that basically remakes games in general. And they've actually put out a feeler to see what games people want. And part of this is Shenmue. They have the publishing rights for Shenmue 3. Now, there's a bunch of people that actually want Shenmue 3 on Xbox. And if there's enough people...
Isn't it already on Xbox?
No, because it was a Kickstarter by Sony. And if enough people actually turn around and want this... So these are the games that they've actually published, they've got at the moment. And Shenmue 3 is one of them.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of these games, and if you're interested in any of these, they're getting a feeler as to what Xbox fans actually want. Obviously, I would buy the Cotton series in a hot bundle.
I mean,
I like my sideward scrolling shooters.
I would probably go for Bubble if it was me.
Bubble, I said as well. I mean, if you look at the games I said, Shenmue 3, Bubble Games, Cotton Games, Trouble Witch, Darius, Wonder Boy, all these classics that just don't appear right now. But Shenmue 3 is definitely one that Xbox fans have wanted for a long time. So if you want, these games to come to Xbox, this company is willing to do it. They just need a feeler. So, get your posts in on this thread, share it, give it out to people. The wider it goes, the better. I thought I retweeted this, but I guess I didn't. But yeah, get your voices heard. Because,
People are saying all of them, which they've said doesn't help.
Yeah, already seeing people say all, that's really cool, but not so helpful. Because they can't do everything at once, right?
Yeah.
So, it's good to get your voices in and actually let them know what you want.
Yeah.
People have wanted...
Bubble would be for me, and I feel like I would, if it was me, I would go for Shenmue 3 because that takes a lot of time, and then I would go with Bubble because it shouldn't be as difficult, and then maybe I don't know one of the other games, so I'd just go Wonder Boy to make you happy.
Happy birthday, Paul. I mean, Wonder Boy's an
well, no, it's
game.
his dad, I think. I think it's his dad that's his birthday.
Oh, well, happy birthday to Paul's dad.
It said it's his
Chinese?
dad's birthday.
Damn you. I can't order anything.
Now the barbecue.
I can't have any of that right now because my sugar levels are through the roof. They're sitting at 12 at the moment when they should be at like 7.
That's not good.
Why
are they so high?
I don't know.
Out of interest.
I don't know.
Okay.
I actually don't know. That's why I needed to go. I'm going to go do a blood test tomorrow. Was supposed to go today. They called and said, no, don't come in today. So I'm going tomorrow. But no idea.
I haven't had a Chinese in a couple of years anyway. I can't risk it anymore, to be honest. I used to be okay with soy sauce because remember, I'm allergic to beans. But I found soy sauce was okay. But for the last few years, every time I've had egg fried rice and stuff like, because I normally just get the egg fried rice, sweet and sour and chicken. But I found my throat is always itchy after I've eaten it, so I've stopped risking it. In case. I mean, it could be a no sugar one. Why so weak? Hey, isn't that an Uncle Roger reference there? Bullets kill.
Hey, look. Chille, what does that say? Can you see what it says on the tin?
Rockstar.
No.
0 sugar.
There you go.
1000% sugar.
There's no sugar in there. 0 sugar. No, because my sugar levels were quite good actually for a long while. It was around 7, which was really good. And then something, I'm not sure what really happened. And I felt a little unwell, and then they've been hovering around 11, 12 for a little while. But I'm sure
I
they'll
hope
go
you
back
can
down.
work it out.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is really cool. I know a lot of people have been wanting to play Shenmue 3. I know part 1 and 2 was released, so if you get your voices out there and voices heard, this is like a perfect opportunity to get Shenmue 3 onto the Xbox. So, get your voices heard, man.
Kazwan says it's because you're eating good on Xbox.
So, over the last 2 days, I've made a couple of videos regarding this old boy, where the FTC has officially lost the appeal for the preliminary injunction with the Microsoft Activision merger, and now they can no longer split the companies up. It's over. My original thought on this, yesterday when I made my video that I published in the early hours of the UK morning at least, was that though Microsoft won the battle, the FTC won the war, because they forced Microsoft to pivot to something that they weren't, right? They became something that they wasn't.
Or at least sped it up.
I mean, they weren't. If they could have had their own way, games like Doom, The Elder Scrolls, all of these would have been exclusive. And those would have
Elder
driven
Scrolls.
traffic.
Well, this Doom might be of an exclusive, but I think future Dooms with shooting multiplayer elements might have been on both platforms. But I agree with you, Elder Scrolls.
Multiplayer maybe, but the actual core single player game would have been exclusive, and that would be done to drive people to the platform. But with the FTC's insistence that Microsoft isn't allowed to have exclusives, but Sony is, they had to pivot in order to get this deal to go through. It wasn't going to go through without them pivoting to show that they are not holding or restricting games from other platforms. And there's no better way of doing that than by really putting Doom, Gears, and Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation. I mean, on what ground at this point are you going to claim a preliminary injunction? What exactly is the basis of your appeal? That they're going to withhold games? I think that's gone out the window, right? So,
yeah, everything's on PlayStation and potentially most of it on Switch.
Yeah.
I don't think all of it's on Switch because I think from what we've seen, the Switch hardware specs might not actually be able to run everything. But yeah, I feel like some of it will be on Switch as well. And of course, you've got the PC versions as well, which isn't a console, but it's still technically a different platform.
It is. So here's the thing, though. That even if and yesterday my train of thought was this, right? Even if the FTC lost this appeal, this was my original train of thought. It didn't matter anymore because they achieved what they set out to achieve, and that was to dismantle Xbox as a platform. And they did that by Microsoft pivoting to this Persuado third-party platform. I say Persuado because not everything is going to other platforms. At least as of right now. Avowed hasn't gone. South of Midnight hasn't gone. We are seeing older games being brought forward. But in general, it's not everything. It might be in the future, but not right now. So it's kind of like a Persuado situation here because they still have their platform.
I don't think we'll see everything day to day. I think we'll see most things come over. But
it's too
they
low.
don't have. I don't think they have enough development team, right, for everything to be day to day.
Are you sure my mic is too low? I mean, I'm in the green. I'm in the yellow. It should be okay. Maybe I'll just bring it a bit closer. Is that better? Is that better, chat? Well, let me know if it's not better. Anyway, I'll continue. So, we're seeing these games, so it's not like every game is going to go, and maybe they're just timed exclusives, right? But that's something we'll know later on, you know, in the next 6 months to a year. It's not something that we can see right now. So, originally, my thought process was that the FTC achieved what they wanted. And that they got what they wanted, and they're happy to say, kumbaya, we're done here. Job done. Microsoft no longer has the power or anything. But then this morning, when I was actually thinking about it, while, you know, working away, it kind of struck me. What the FTC hasn't realized is that by Microsoft becoming this third-party conglomerate that they want them to be, so all of their games go to every platform, what can the FTC now do if Microsoft wanted to go buy Square Enix? I mean, fully well knowing that all of those games are going to go to Nintendo and PlayStation as well.
I mean, that
what could they actually
Square Enix,
do?
I wouldn't.
No,
Square Enix is probably the worst idea.
No, it's not. Ignore the company. I'm using it as an example.
I was gonna say, Square Enix would be the worst example you can use because then that would be the Japanese government that steps in, not the American one.
No, but that part of the conversation is not the point I'm making here.
Yeah, I'm just saying that. But Square Enix is probably the worst choice.
I mean, it could be Square Enix, it could be Capcom, it could be Sega, it could be any of them, right? But what exactly would the regulators' grounds now be to say, hey, we want to block this deal? Are they going to turn around and go, look, you can't buy this company because you're going to release those games on PlayStation. Oh, wait. You're going to release them on Nintendo. Oh, wait. God damn it, you're going to release them on PC. Oh, wait. So,
I guess they would try and ban it based on Game Pass.
Why? It's just a subscription service. You're allowed to buy it. It's not hindering competition, is it? There is no effect to competition.
But
you can still go and buy those games.
That's the thing, though. But would they hypothetically, would they try and say that
by having all these companies, it gives that subscription service too much of a benefit over other subscription services. It's incredibly stupid, and I don't believe any word I'm saying right now, but I'm trying to think of how.
But then they would say that about Netflix, and they're not really doing that, are they? Netflix are going and buying all of these movies and stuff like that to put on their platform, whereas Amazon and the other likes don't really have much. Netflix is the main brand.
The difference is Disney, I guess, is competition, but Amazon. How many often do you get an Amazon advert for anything apart from when you're on an Amazon-based? Amazon doesn't push itself like Netflix and Disney Plus do. Like, but that again, I think that'd be the only thing they would use to try and leverage it, and even then, that's kind of stupid.
So I can't see really. I don't think it violates antitrust law at all. So I think they've opened up a Pandora's box that now gives Microsoft the freedom to just do what they want. And I think that's exactly what the FTC was trying to oppose. And inadvertently, they've just given Microsoft a, as I said in my video, the golden ticket by Willy Wonka to go and do what they want. There'll be some little
with American-based companies,
especially
at least.
With American, I just don't see. I think the FTC, in their weird and wonderful way, didn't really foresee what was going on. But what do you think? Like, based on where we are right now, what real objection do you actually see? And do you think the FTC ultimately got what they wanted, or are now in a position where they're regretting what they did because they've given Microsoft even more power than they originally had?
I think they regret what they did, but Microsoft got everything they wanted in a way. Like, we all know that Microsoft was porting games to PC way before this. I really feel like because of how hardware was selling, because I'm sorry, but Xbox hardware has been in a decline for a while now for multiple reasons, and one of the reasons is mainly because of the last generation. We can all agree on that, right? The last generation, because of the whole digital.
Was bad, but realistically, the Series X launched without, any first-party game, if I recall correctly. Halo was supposed to come out. We all saw what state Halo was in. That got pulled, and even though the consoles were selling with the Halo hovering on the boxes, there was no Halo, and that was supposed to be the fanfare. And then shortly after that came the ABK situation, where Microsoft for 2 years showed themselves to be as weak as humanly possible, not releasing anything really, not doing showcases, not putting themselves out there, trying to show them as troubled as possible. I mean, you could see it with all the graphs that they were showing. Look how powerful Sony is compared to how small we are, and all this. And all of that played into it, showing themselves uber weak. But inadvertently, that was also by showing themselves in that state, they were actually, damaging the brand.
I agree with,
and
but I agree with their statement on last generation.
Console decline started.
But I agree on their statement that last generation was probably one of the key generations to lose, which sucks.
Is the key generation.
Yeah, because that was the main focus on digital media and accounts, and we all know that. It's not because I like Sony phones. I do because I'm a pony. Nay, but I will stick with Android because all my purchases and all my digital stuff that I bought over the years, all of my accounts are linked to Android. So if I'm going to go out and buy a new phone, I'm going to focus on an Android phone because it's what I've done in the past. That's what I've focused on. And the same can apply for consoles because a lot of people started with the PS4. They've got a digital library with the PS4, which means that they're less likely to move over to Xbox, even with the Game Pass situation, because they've got their backstory, they've got their trophies, they've got all that lot. They're moving that forward to the next generation. So,
yeah, but I think if the Xbox launched in a really good state, the Series consoles, and the ABK purchase went through without any objection, I think we would have seen a much different Xbox than we are today.
Oh yeah, we would have, especially if they had exclusivity on Call of Duty, even if it was only a timed exclusivity.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have seen a much different. It would have been a much more aggressive Xbox, and
Yeah.
people, no, even if I'm not saying it would have taken 50% of the users, but even if it had taken 20%, that's 20% extra that they would on top of what they have right now, right? And
So, what about Epic in this context? Again,
what about
as
Epic?
much as some people like the Epic Game Store, if you go online and ask anyone, oh my god, wait, Final Fantasy 17 is coming to PC, you'll see 10,000 replies going, it better be on Steam. I'm not buying if it's not on Steam. It better be on Steam. Oh, it's got to be on the Steams. If it's not on the Steams.
It's irritating, right?
Yeah. I'm like, I thought the whole point of the PC was to be like open-ended, open source sort of thing where anyone.
When it comes to PC, they are way more console warring than consoles ever could be. And don't forget, right? At least when it comes to the console wars or the wars that used to exist, you have to pay like £500-600 to play that game, to be able to play that game. On PC, it's like, oh look, it's only a 10-second download. Are you telling me I have to download something for 10 seconds? That's pretty much how it goes.
I have to press a different logo? You monsters!
Yeah. That's pretty... Do you see the difference? And this is why I'll never understand this whole... I mean, people often don't get the console tribalism, but I think the PC tribalism is way worse. It's way out of control.
It is.
A goddamn launcher, for God's sake. It costs you literally zero. And yet...
Like, I understand you want
worse.
your achievements and all like that with Steam, and, like, it has some benefits, but, like, the way people react is so just... Yeah. Microsoft should buy Valve. I don't even think... Well, Microsoft could afford it, but I don't think they would want to.
Yeah, I don't think they'd want to. What I think they would want to do is...
Plus, they can't, right, legally.
I mean, it's just a launcher, right? There must be some legal
No,
protection
they can't
there.
buy Valve.
Oh, they can't. Fair enough. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. So
No, right? Because it's not shareholded or something like that, right? It's publicly it's owned by the.
It's a limited
I
company.
can't remember what it is. Yeah. So I don't think they can legally.
They can't just go and buy it. They'd have to do a complete takeover instead.
Yeah.
They can't just kind of buy 51%. They'd have to completely buy the company. Yeah. See, and one of the questions that I was thinking about was, well, look, Microsoft is releasing a new console. Well, what did Susanna ask?
Because we went off from his Epic thing and he was talking about something else.
But Microsoft is like, their next console is more than likely going to be a PC.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what people are assuming, right? I think we can all agree on that. And so people, the question that came into my mind was, well, if they're going to do that, what's the point in buying other companies? If they're going to put Steam on there, the players can just buy the game. They're going to buy the game off Steam if it's not available on Xbox. So Xbox doesn't even have to worry about those games being ported over. That's a logical way of thinking, right? But then it got me thinking.
Yeah.
Even more. And, I shouldn't be thinking this much. Not early in the morning. The bad things happen when I start thinking. Why wouldn't Microsoft want 70% of that purchase? Or 100% of that purchase? See, they could technically go and buy Sega, right? If they wanted to. If Sega was willing. And those games would go to PlayStation, go to Nintendo Switch, they'd get 70% of those games. It would go to PC, and they'd get 70% of those. And it would be on Xbox as well. And players would have a choice of buying it either on the Xbox Store or the Steam Store. And so Microsoft would get either 100% of that money or 70%. Whereas if they didn't own Sega, they'd get 0%. The point I'm making is people are saying that if the notion that if they are making a PC anyway, what's the point? They stand to make a lot of money. 70% at the base minimum is still 70%, right?
Well, or if you release it on Epic, right? 75% because they only take 25%, right?
Yeah, Epic is 85%. But you're seeing what I'm saying here, right? There's actually benefits to owning these companies, even if they were to be left alone like Sony did with Bungie, by letting them be completely independent, but the pot of money would still be going back to Microsoft.
Sandwich has said, now that Xbox is third party, do you think that PlayStation will continue with the money hanging? Depend
sure.
Maybe on the smaller titles still. But I know this will sound mean to a lot of people, but I fully support, as long as it's not contracted forever, I fully support money hanging indies. Especially when, let's just say your game only has 5 people. I have no issue with Microsoft or Sony coming in and being like, we will fund your game because we like it, but because we're funding your game and paying for all your staff, it's going to be exclusive for 6 months. Because without our funding, the game might not have existed in the first place. I'm okay when stuff like that happens, but not when it's actual AAA titles.
They can money hat if the game will still be playable on Xbox. But that's the thing, right? This generation, sure, but is there any... If Microsoft is putting... Like, if they're basically building a PC, a mid-spec PC priced at around $800, right? £800. Because I expect the pound just to change into a dollar sign. I always do, and that's never going to change. But if they release, like, one for $800, at that point, what's the point of money hatting? Because if that game is going to PC as well, unless it's going to be purely on PlayStation, right? It's more than likely going to get a... I mean, it's going to be rare, I think, as time goes on, because more and more companies are seeing the value of PC, especially if the game goes viral and gets picked up. You've seen how Power was just massive. Black Myth Wukong, which I think is still overrated, went massive, although it was a majority in China.
World.
They're still getting sued.
Do you see the stuff they had to change today?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I found out that they had to remove the balls recently. So now when you get summon the pals, they just appear next to you because they had to remove the ball mechanic. And now they've had to remove the glider mechanic. So they've now you before you glided on Pokemon, your pals. Mm-hmm. You've glided on your pals. Now they've had to remove that with put a generic glider in. Because of the court case, they've had to add in just generic gliders.
Man, Nintendo are just they're just the villains of all. Yeah. Like, if anyone is going to hold back gaming, it's going to be Nintendo.
Yeah.
But at that point, like I was saying...
Well, you know what they say? The CEO of Nintendo is called Bowser.
Hey, no, he is full corporate shill.
I mean, he's literally called a Mario villain.
Yeah, Nintendo's they're just a different breed. The amount of patents that Nintendo has is ridiculous. They've patented everything. And if anything, Nintendo are the ones that, in my opinion, ultimately that is going to be holding gaming back. Bags, I'm just using random company names. I'm not even referring to anyone specific. I could have said Take-Two, or I could have said Capcom. I could have said anyone, really. I'm just using the first company name that comes to my mind. I'm not throwing anything specifically at any specific company. But at that point,
Atari.
Even Atari, right? But what I'm saying is that there'd be no point in money hatting at that point as of next generation, because hey, Sony's going to say, I've money hacked the game coming to PlayStation. Yeah, but it's going to PC, so by default, it goes to Xbox. Who are you money hacking from? Do you see what I mean? I mean, I assume there'll be no trophies because it's going to be through the Steam platform. I mean, not trophies, achievements. There'll be Steam achievements.
I mean, Steam has... Yeah, because Steam has its own
but it won't be the Xbox achievements, will it?
No.
Yeah, so... By default, that's probably going to be the only negative that I can think of. But at that point, really, no one cares.
Mysterious says, saw a PC going for £500 and carries PC. Well, the issue with that is I don't know what it'd be able to run.
show anything new for the next? There's nothing new at the moment.
I mean,
Just be happy they're not trying to run a controller card.
Uh.
Microsoft do have their own credit card now. No one should apply for that. The interest rates on that is dirty.
I mean, PlayStation had one at one point, right? I think.
They did, yeah. Bags, all achievements are worthless. All of them.
Yeah.
Every single achievement is worthless. They mean nothing. The only purpose achievements have is to get you grinding for longer in the game. It's designed to lock you into that game for a longer period. That's it. That's why they give you really stupid requirements like, hey, go kill 1 million dregs and get a 10-point achievement.
I still need to.
Yay!
I still need to finish the platinum trophy on 14, where I've got to do 8,000 collectibles.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I've got to gather 5,000 and craft 8,000. That's it, though. Then I've got the platinum. I'm done with that.
Hey, Sanchez, how's it going, buddy?
When Sony hikes prices, Game Pass will be king. Until Game Pass hiked its price. It will still be king, though.
Most of the games can be completed with, like, what? 300 of the achievement points?
Oh, yeah. I forgot Metal Gear Solid is also August. You're right, Game 1 Jesse. That's going to be an insane month. Man, Snake Eater. One of the best Metal Gear games out there.
Look, clearly it's Metal Gear Solid Snake. Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. That 2D one. That's the best one. But yeah, so I think ultimately the FTC, I think from, it's like the duality of man. Yesterday, I was thinking how the FTC actually won the war. But today, I see this as a great opportunity to feed those people on Game Pass with even more games for free. As a Game Pass enjoyer myself, I just see this as an opportunity for me to, have access to more and more games that I'm probably never going to get to play. Because there's just not enough time in the day. But here we are. Like, I think, this could actually turn tables and be an astonishing win for Microsoft. And I still believe that they're going to buy someone by the end of the year. I think they're going to announce one. It's going to be small, but I think they will.
Imagine if it's level 5.
Oh, or Remedy Games.
Especially after it was a mistranslation, but there was an article going around saying that level 5 is like, 80% of our game is done by AI. It was a mistranslation, but yeah.
But sandwich, the way this is actually going to work for Microsoft with the timed exclusivity, essentially, at least based on what Phil said, if the studio is massive, like, say, id Software, then games like Doom are going to be made simultaneously for all platforms. If the company is small, like Coalition Games, then they're either going to leave it on Xbox or potentially later make it as a timed exclusive. So it's dependent on the actual studio on whether they can handle multiple projects at the same time. Well, multiple streams of the project at the same time. Like Hellblade 2, the company is actually really small. So they can only work on one platform, one SKU at a time. And with PC as well, don't forget PC is like, 3 or 4 SKUs? There's 3 or 4, versions of the PC build that they need to work for. Plus the 2 from the Series X. They're working essentially on 6 builds. Every studio is working on 6 versions of the game. Adding an extra 2 now, especially with the PlayStation 5 Pro and the PlayStation or the Switch, it's just, it's adding unnecessary strain that doesn't need to be there. Plus, they'd
also be starting planning the next console as well. They'll be starting planning the games for the next console as well.
Yeah, and the fact that it's a different language.
Yeah. Because any game starting, next year will have to be ported over to the next console, right? So they're gonna have to even this year that when they have to start making games for next gen.
Yeah, they've probably already started making games for next gen.
Yeah.
Some time ago. We just won't see them probably until next year now.
Well, Gears isn't timed exclusive. Sandwich. Gears is day one on both PlayStation and Xbox.
Reloaded is. We don't know about
Yeah.
what is it?
E-Day.
E-Day.
I think all of them are going to be in the future.
I'm not sure because Reloaded makes sense. Because the original one that was Ultimate wasn't designed for, that was 10 years ago. So you're looking at 10-year-old code there. So updating that and then making it work on Linux, it's a different beast. So, I mean, it could very well be, but I think Reloaded made sense to be multi. It's an old game. It's been there for a while. So re-releasing it and milking that franchise was in their interest.
Yeah, $40 for Gears 1 Ultimate, Gears 2 Ultimate, and Gears 3 Ultimate. That's $120. And then they could sell Judgment as a DLC. Because that was the prequel, right? Gears of War Judgment.
Yes. But why buy gaming studios when you can invest that money into cloud? They are already investing into cloud. And they're working on their cloud infrastructure bit by bit.
I don't think they can buy... I think buying Ubisoft would be too messy right now. So I don't... And Sanchez, I think Ubisoft's off the table for now. Because of Tencent wanting to do the deals with Ubisoft. They've got Ubisoft Cloud deal that they still have to do with FTC, right? Even with this.
Mm-hmm.
Because that already got approved, right?
What's that? The Ubisoft?
The Ubisoft Cloud deal.
Yeah, that's true. That's in effect already. That's why
So,
you're seeing
I'm
those
just
games
saying,
on other cloud platforms.
Yeah. That's what I say. Xbox buying Ubisoft is probably too messy for them to want to bother with.
No, that's actually quite simple because the part of Ubisoft that actually deals with the cloud is an isolated company that has its own profit and loss. So the CMA done it in a way where if Sony decided to magically come in and buy them, because that was the fear, they'd be buying Ubisoft but not the cloud rights.
Okay. But I'm just saying because of that and also because Tencent slash the Gilmore family.
Yeah.
That's it. It would just be, you've got the cloud stuff and that. It would just be a mess of stuff. Even if cloud stuff isn't that much of an effect, it's still stuff. Could Microsoft buy BioWare? I guess.
If BioWare got sent away.
BioWare's owned by EA, right?
Yeah.
So EA that would have to sell BioWare.
I mean, they gutted
and
BioWare after...
and would they even get BioWare? Technically, they would get the company. But would they get the staff? No, because they've already left.
Yeah, BioWare isn't BioWare anymore. And that's the thing with a lot of these studios. They're just not the same studio that, we grew up with. BioWare is just a name now.
Yeah. It's a ship of feces. I'm going to say sheep of feces. Where, although it's technically the same company, and it still has the name of the company, everything that made the company has been replaced. And no, technically it's still the company. There's nothing in that's the original company anymore.
And Sandwich, in regards to future Gears and Halo, at the moment, I would say they're still going to be timed. But it really depends on how aggressive Microsoft wants to be.
I know that was a mistype, but that's so great.
What's that? Quantic Dreams? What the hell?
I think it means Quantic Dream. The people behind. But
maybe.
Do I even want to? You know what Quantic Dream is, right? Susano?
I don't even think I know.
I know the ones that made Heavy Rain and stuff.
Ah, okay. Wait, they still make games?
Yeah, Beyond Two Souls, Detroit. They're working on Star Wars Eclipse.
That game looks really good. I was watching a trailer of it yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
It looked really, really good.
Heavy Rain.
Yeah, but
Quantic Cream has made so many good games.
hey, now.
Sorry.
No, Sandwich. I
know it was a
believe,
mistake, but it made me giggle.
I do believe Wukong was money head. I just don't believe in this day and age that a company's going to come out and say we're too stupid to make games. They tried to blame themselves, and that's fair. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure it's money headed. People can say all they want. There's just no reason why it can't. Any developer worth their salt will tell you that it was money headed.
You still wait for that Old Republic remake. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
It'll happen on a date that doesn't end in Y. That's when the release date will come.
Yeah.
The press X to Jason meme would be very different. But yeah. So
What if Xbox made Batman games exclusive to compete with Spider-Man? I think the same thing applies to what we were saying earlier, Kaz, right?
They just won't do that. Not now.
Well, that and I think most of Rocksteady have gone. It's the same. We've got the BioWare effect right here.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that there's still a semblance of them still remaining. You know, that's there that can.
No,
I mean, Arkham games can't be that difficult
chaos.
to make. I've seen, like that game that I demoed on my channel. I forgot what it's called now, but it pretty much played the controls are very similar to what Arkham was. Not exact, but it was very similar. And you can get that Arkham feel. You probably won't get the Arkham aesthetic. That'll probably be the Suicide Squad aesthetic, but you know. But I don't think Microsoft's thing right now is to do that. I don't think they want exclusivity, and if exclusivity happens, it's just a happy accident. The platform now is Game Pass. Game Pass is the platform for them, you know, and I think the sooner people accept that, the better. But the point I was making earlier, especially with this decision, is the band-aid is off. They, you know, where they had the platform, they've clearly shown that the platform is no longer their primary concern. And I think everyone now says this, including the media, the fans, and I mean, whoever you ask, they don't really care about the console anymore. It's the ecosystem. And so, you know, Microsoft has got the message out there and has gotten people to say exactly what they want, and this just adds, you know, favor to them to be able to go into that market with a checkbook and say, right, am I buying you or you today? And there's going to be very little that in opposition, because it's not going to be anti-competitive, because those games are going to be multi-plat. So
yeah,
I think this was some 4D chess that Microsoft played. And well played it was, I have to admit. Because I didn't think about this ending, honestly. I didn't see this until this morning. But this was some great 4D chess.
So yeah, I think there's not much more I can add, really, to be honest. And if you do want to see stuff, remember to go check out the YouTube video that he's posted up before this went live.
Both of them, actually, because it gives you context.
Yeah, but watch both. I think I watched the first one at like 4 a.m. in the morning or something. It was crazy.
I published at like 2. The Sandwich, I'm with you. I don't agree with it. Ultimately, you know, not so much agree with it, but I don't like it. You know, being the old school mentality that I have. But I'm also not going to be a Warhammer Dave or a Peter Ovo or a Tim Dog and go out there and start crying to the masses on social media that, oh my god, big bad Microsoft did X, Y, and Z. I'm just going to enjoy the games that come to Game Pass and play them either on my PC or my Series X and enjoy it. And until Sony can show me that there is a £70 preferential increase to playing it on their platform as opposed to getting it on Game Pass, for me, Game Pass will be the option I go with all the time. They have to show me that their version of the same game that I'm playing is worth £40 to £70 more. And if they can't show me that, why would I go to another platform and pay money, even if I have the platform, when I can get it for free on Game Pass? And I say free because I've already played enough games to cover the cost of Game Pass for this year and next year. So the fact that my Game Pass expires in like 2027, I've already, covered that. By the time I finish this year, I'll have covered enough cost for multiple years. So to me, at this point, they're just free. You have to show me value now that says, hey, this is £70 extra value that you can have. Like if you showed me like true path tracing on a PC, like on a 4090 or a 5090, and said like, this is the level of, lighting and graphical fidelity and ray tracing, path tracing, all at the same time, and it's like at the highest quality you can possibly get, I'd actually consider it. And that's where PC comes in, right? That's where PC comes in. But that is not the case with that. And so it's a bit of a weird one.
Sorry, I'm just imagining the frame rate of that path traced, fully ray traced game. 12, right?
Oh, not on PC. On PC, it's actually really good.
With
But,
120
PlayStation-
fake frames. Oh, no, on
No.
PlayStation, it'd set your PlayStation on fire.
Oh, yeah. Am I getting the low-powered Xbox handheld? You mean the Asus handheld? The Xbox one is coming in like 2 years. But the
I don't know how true it is. My friend said it's going to be expensive, but I don't know if we actually have a price.
well, we don't know the actual price of it, but I'm expecting it to be really expensive. I don't expect it to be cheap.
64 gig of RAM. That's.
I think that's a model a little too. I think there's going to be a 32 gig model.
That's still triple the RAM that my laptop has.
But to be fair, 32 gig right now is probably standard.
Yeah. Well, no, 16 gig standard, right? Currently.
Now, I think now 32 gig should be standard. 16 is too little now. Games are requiring more and more above that.
Which sucks because Nvidia is still releasing cards with 12 gig. It's like, why?
Well, no, because Nvidia are releasing them with 12 gigs of RAM, which is still crazy, by the way. It should really be minimum 16. Yeah. But 12 gig, you can just about get away with it. But you've still got your system memory, which gives you... it's different to your system memory. Yeah. And that's what we're talking about here. But this is what we're looking at. And these are the two models. You've got the X model and the Y model.
I know it is a prototype, but I hate how the fact that it looks like someone dug it up from a back garden. Like if someone said that they found this 30 years ago.
Yeah, just for the car.
If you said that you found this, look, beaten and battered up somehow. I don't know why they designed it that way. It looks like it's been used for like
this one.
Yeah,
that's just a proto model. This.
That's what I said. It's a prototype. But it's a prototype that looks like it's been.
Yeah, because it's just come out
prototype
like a 3D printing thing to take pictures of.
Looks like they made it with the Game Gear, and they've had it in the back room.
Don't you
since
remember
then.
the Switch 2? The first model of the Switch 2 came out looking like this as well.
Yeah,
they took it out.
I'm still gonna say about it.
It's normal because there's
Like,
no
it
point
does-
in making this look nice and dandy. This is just for, you know, putting it into registering the platform and getting
I
it
guess,
done.
but
for
like,
all
I
sides
would
and
have at
purposes.
least.
Nah,
I don't know.
that's wasting money. Companies don't waste money for no reason. This was literally just sent there in this condition to show them the size, the dimensions of the device.
If
That's
they're
it.
doing that, they could have sent them a cardboard version.
Nah, that can get damaged. This is pretty much going to have the same weight and everything built into it. I mean, you can see the analog.
Fill the
sticks are
cardboard
completely
with
busted
rice.
Anyway, there's nothing in it. Wilds requires 16 gigabytes outright. Exactly. So if Monster Hunter Wilds already requires 16 gigabytes, then Windows takes at least another 1 or 2 gigabytes. You're already over the 16 gigabyte threshold. And don't forget, when you've got 16 gigs of RAM,
Fair
you're not
bullets.
actually getting 16 gig. You're a couple of gig of that is formatted, so you're really getting about 14 and a half. Around 14 and a half. So it's 16 gig is no longer the minimum that you should be aiming for. 32 is the new standard. 64 is, the old 32 now. It's overkill.
Man, it's
but
crazy.
You don't need 64 now. Is pretty much if you want to do like Photoshop editing, Adobe Premiere editing, AutoCAD, where you really need it. I mean, you could, there's some motherboards that go to 120 gig of RAM, 128. If you're doing, and I think that's really designed for like the AutoCAD stuff, like proper mechanical engineering, mass 3D building stuff.
Yeah, trust me, as someone that when I edit my videos on my channel, I can't sometimes even listen to the audio in the editing because it stutters too much. I have to get it like fully done, and then once I've done it, I can have to check it over that. I need to get a PC, everyone, just so I can edit more videos.
But yeah, so this is just an Xbox
Sorry for the plug there.
This is just an Xbox themed console. It is just an Asus ROG 2. That's it. It's going to be a black model with an Xbox button. That's it. It's just, that Xbox button is just going to open up Game Pass. That's it. Or the Xbox Sky button.
The Xbox Sky button will open up a UI probably, not just Game Pass. It'd be like a.
It's going to be available to everything. It's not specific to this. But now the next one, the actual Xbox handheld that's coming in 27, that's the one that's going to be the Microsoft one that everyone's expecting will play the backwards compatible games.
Yeah.
This is just a Windows version of it. But it's just themed in a way to be Xbox. And I know a lot of people struggle to understand that concept, but it's not really hard. But how much do I think it's going to be? Am I buying it? If it's $1,000, I'm not buying it. If it's $800, I'm not buying it. If it's around 600, I'll look into it. But I think that's where my limit is, 600, because it's portable.
I will say I've seen a lot of people. Sorry.
Go on.
I will say I've seen a lot of people use this to poop on the Portal even more, and I still see this and the Portal as two different devices, and I find it funny when people keep bringing up, especially like when you made the video on this. I saw a few people bring it up about the Portal. I'm like, the Portal is something completely different than this. Why do people keep comparing? It's frustrating.
Overpriced.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree with that. If the Portal was £100, I would buy it instantly.
There you go. It is way overpriced for what it is. If the Portal was cheaper, like I said, I mean, I wanted to buy one, right? But at £200, I said it's too expensive, and I said if I find it for $150, I'll buy it. And then I found it for $150.
I would buy it for $100.
And I said, nah, that's too expensive. If I find it for $130, I'll buy it. And then I found it for $130, and I said, nah, it's still too expensive. If I find it for $120, I'll buy it. And then I found it for $115, and I said, that's still too expensive. So if I find it for $100, Chille's my witness, I will buy it. But
yeah,
I think Brick in a couple of streams ago said 95, and I'm willing to go 95 too. But I just think the Portal's mistake is that it's overpriced. And don't get me wrong, We know that PlayStation fans will buy anything with a PlayStation logo. They could have.
I would go 100. Okay, I would go 130 if it came with 6 months of Plus. Then I would go 130. And yeah, Steve, you're right. The media is to blame.
Are you serious, Steve? They're already doing that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't seen, but I wouldn't be shocked.
That makes no sense. I mean, if they turned around,
They're
and
both
said,
handhelds, so of course they do it. They're going to compare this. Yeah. No, Susano. The Portal does not play anything natively. It has no actual hardware, really. It's all cloud-based. It plays either from your PS5 or from the cloud. There's nothing native with the Portal, which is why I like it more than most of these devices. This is why I'm a Sony pony, because I don't know. Yeah, it's just a phone, basically, Susano, without a phone feature. And that's why, as a pony, I much prefer the Portal over a lot of these. Don't get me wrong, I think these are incredible, but for me, I much prefer the pony option of the Portal, just because, in theory, it should evolve with my console. In theory,
it has the PlayStation logo. Just be true to yourself and say
no,
it has the PlayStation logo, and that is why you want to buy it.
Yeah. No, in theory, let's just say I buy the PlayStation 6, right?
Yeah.
The PlayStation 6 should have remote play, hopefully. In theory. This is all in theory, because the Portal should connect to it.
Did the Vita connect to the PS5? Is there any reason? Is there any reason why the PS Vita right now can't work with the PS5, outside of Sony blocking it?
I'm gonna check.
The Vita cannot connect to the PS5. Sony blocked it, and did not release software for it.
Oh well, yeah.
I mean, there was opportunities for them to do it, and they said it was possible.
Yeah.
But they chose not to. They chose to release a new device. So are you saying that you don't believe that Sony is going to say, hey, look at all these people that bought the Portal. Let's charge them again with the Portal 2? Do you genuinely believe that Sony is not going to do that? Of course they're going to do it. Why? Because when it comes to the PlayStation logo, PlayStation fans will buy anything. Even if it's overpriced or overvalued, they are the true definition of an Apple, customer.
The thing is, though, Ventra, you say that the Portal can't do anything your phone could, your phone could do it. The benefit of the Portal is the fact that if you're not wasting your phone's battery life. That's my view on it. Yes, your phone could do everything, but your phone has a lot more features and functions than just playing games. And at least my phone dies when I'm using Wi-Fi or 3G for a long time. Yeah, if I'm using the internet, mobile internet, it dies a lot faster than if I don't use it by a power bank.
I will agree with you one thing, though, Chille.
And trust me, I have one of those.
I'll agree with you on this one. The Portal does actually have a good function, right? There is one.
The paperweight did so.
No one actually talks about this. It is the one feature that I'm surprised that Sony is keeping really hush-hush. And all of the PlayStation fans don't talk about this either, by the way. It's only us that want to enlighten people on the true value of the PS Portal. See, the Portal does have one feature that actually makes it stand out. That actually makes it good value. Well, not £200 value, but you get the point I'm making. Yeah. You can play PS5 games without a PS5. Because PS5 games are now being streamed without the need for a PS5, and more PS5 games are added. You can play a PS5 today without buying a PS5. No consoles needed. Yeah. All you need is a Portal, and you can stream those games directly to your PS Portal through the Azure clouds. You can do that today. No console required.
Just think your Portal can play PS1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 games.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You can play it. You do not need a PS5 to play PS5 games. No console required. But you don't see Sony shouting that from the rooftops. I wonder why.
Yeah, man, I wonder why they don't say anything about that. Man, I wonder.
I mean, there must be a reason, right? There has to be a solid reason as to why they're not really shouting this. You can play PlayStation 5 games without a PS5. No reason to buy a Pro when you can just get a Portal. See, that would be a really good selling point, right?
Yeah.
No? I think that makes sense. And then provide a way for you to be able to mirror that onto your TV from your Portal. Even less reason.
I wonder if you could do with it. No, you can't, right? That'd be so good if you
really wanted to, I'm sure there's a way. I mean, they did it. I remember doing it with a PSP. You jerry-rigged the cable to be able to, but it was possible.
Well, that's because the PSP actually had the dev kit for the PSP actually had a TV out.
Yeah, the original PSPs had it. The PSP 1000.
Yeah.
Have I seen? No. See, I was really disappointed with that trailer. I haven't seen them console warring, though I've seen some people talking about GTA 6, you know, captured on PS5, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I don't really care what they capture it on. But yeah, if this is priced correctly, I'll be interested. If it's not priced correctly, and if it's priced like the Asus ROG Ally X, you know, at £800, then it's just a bit too salty for my liking. It's just a bit too much. You know, it's just too pricey. There's a hard ceiling for me, and that's around 600. Once these machines start going above that, I get the point that they're designed for mobile gaming, for roaming around. But at that point, you start to cross into the threshold of, why not just buy a mid-spec PC that's going to be better than this for a couple of extra hundred? Do you know what I mean? It starts to cross into that territory, and the value of these are so you can get into cheaper PC gaming without having to cross into that threshold, at least for me. And that's why the Steam Deck is so good, because at £349, and the cheapest model of the Steam Deck is essentially the same as the top end model. The only real difference is the hard drive and the screen. The internal workings of the AMD APU is exactly the same. And if they can get it down to 350 quid and release a piece of software, a hardware at that price point, you know, at some point, you've got to wonder why these people are charging you over $1,000 for these.
Yeah, it was a mix of gameplay and trailer footage.
There was no gameplay in there.
Rockstar said there was.
No, Steve. Just because those two people were sitting on that bench doesn't mean that's gameplay. Apparently, that's the part that's the gameplay, where they were sitting on the bench. That was in-game gameplay.
Yeah.
No, I do not accept that. And this is I guess we can cross into, you know, the GTA thing. I don't have the video for it, and I'm not sure if I can show it as well either, because Rockstar with their last trailer was copyright striking a lot of people, or claiming their videos entirely for it. But you know, when it comes to GTA, all they showed to me was just a trailer of no gameplay. I wanted to see what the gameplay was like. Them actually driving around in the city, running around, doing the missions, something. Not just another trailer that just basically showed me a bunch of cutscenes.
I mean, this is the first trailer, really, right?
Second.
But the first trailer really wasn't anything.
They called it trailer 2, so it's trailer 2.
Yeah, but this is like the first real, like, trailer. Like, I didn't expect gameplay yet.
See, My point is, I don't care for a trailer if there's no gameplay, because the game could look as, you know, amazing as humanly possible, and then when you get to playing it, it's just a bunch of chibis.
Yeah, there was some. You know, my trailer 1 did have a little bit more than I remember.
Yeah, but
In fact, I think trailer 1 had more gameplay.
Exactly. I want to see gameplay, and if a trailer can't be bothered to show me gameplay, that tells me one of two things. One, they aren't confident in the gameplay that they can show. Or two, it's just not ready. And I guess it's not ready.
I mean, it's not out till May next year. That's it. Year.
I know, but you should have something now, man. Come on. You've been working on that game for God knows how long. You should have something, even early game. You know, get past the little whole intro bit that's going to be the blockbuster starter, and just show something of you riding around the city, or just something, anything. But no, if you're at this point and you're hiding stuff, I'm telling you from just me working in the games industry, it means because things aren't right. It's basically called a smokescreen. It's what they do to hide stuff.
I think this is how Rockstar's shown all their games in the past, though.
Yeah, because they're not ready.
Yeah.
Because they're not right. That's why they need the extra year.
I mean, yeah.
Right?
Well, 6 months, right? Technically.
I mean, we're in May. They want it till the
yeah,
next
but it was
year,
going to be end of the year, right? And it got delayed till next year.
Yeah, but it's still if they're delaying it from now, they didn't specify any date anyway.
Yeah.
Steve being the troll that he likes to be all the time.
But I was impressed by the trailer. Like, the graphics blew me away. Like, it's insane. I do expect, because of the limits of the console, it's going to frustrate a lot of people. But I'm expecting those black bars to be part in actual the gameplay as well as just the cutscenes. I don't think it's just the cutscenes that are going to be black barred. I think it's going to be all black barred. And it's also going to run at 30 FPS.
Of course, it's going to run 30 FPS. It's going to run 30 FPS everywhere. It's the only platform that's going to run at 60 at launch is the Series S.
And the Switch 2 version.
No, the Switch...
Which will run at 120.
That's going to run it at 120 off YouTube. I mean, the Switch 2 is going to be the true GOAT. That's going to run at 120 FPS off YouTube. The true
no, it's going to run at 120 FPS at 140p.
that's
120 FPS at 120p. Make it even.
Yeah, Tarnish, they're basically doing...
Just around 142p. Yeah.
They're doing what Thing did. Oh, God, I can't believe I forgot their name. The company that made Hellblade. Someone remind me. Ninja Theory?
Yeah.
Is it Ninja Theory?
Yeah, Ninja Theory made Hellblade.
Yeah. So they put the black bars on Hellblade saying, oh, this is like so you can create a cinematic noise just so they can keep the game running at a stable frame rate. Thankfully on PC,
it's the same as the PS4 game, right? Was it the game that ran at 24 FPS on the PS4 for cinematic because of the graphics?
Wasn't that...
Do I remember what?
Oh, what was it? The Order.
It's the one set in London.
1866.
Yeah, Order 1866.
I still need to play that. Apparently it's like a really small game, like 3-4 hours. I've always wanted to play.
Yeah, it's a short game. It's a good game. It is a lot of fun. Seriously. I know a lot of people like disliked it, but it was a good game.
Hey, Yatta. Thank you very much for that £2 super chat. How dare you disrespect the Xbox Series P? See, Chille? Why are you disrespecting the Xbox Series P?
Anyway, we're talking about the Pro. Would that be the Xbox Series P Plus?
No, that would be the Xbox Series PP. How's your Series PP?
Get your Series PP checked out every so often.
But yeah, It's interesting. I don't know. I saw the trailer and I know a bunch of. I mean, I saw like a bunch of PlayStation fans going crazy because they saw something that looked like a PlayStation controller on there.
Looks
And
like a
that was
Logitech.
enough. It looked like a Logitech controller, right?
Yeah, it looked like a third-party PlayStation controller, in my opinion.
It was the best.
Because the analog
choice,
sticks
dude.
look different.
Byron, yeah, I've got actually the trailer here. I'm gonna look at. We're gonna check it out in a little bit. But yeah, I see a bunch of them like going. Oh man, look, they picked the PlayStation controller over Xbox One. That's how I'm like, man, how sad can you get?
Yeah, I do feel like PlayStation's gonna have marketing though.
If they had marketing, I think the advertising of that would have been different. Xbox wouldn't have been able to
we'll
push
see.
it out there in terms of in the way that they were.
Fair.
In the way that Xbox is advertising it. I mean, if you look at other games like Hogwarts Legacy, Microsoft couldn't even post tweets about it. I just don't think in this day and age, Rockstar really need it for either Sony or Microsoft to have marketing rights. The game is going to sell itself.
Well, yeah. Well, it has to sell itself. Otherwise... Yeah, Temu PlayStation controller, you're right, Seabass.
You know, it's going to sell itself. They don't need all that malarkey and all that bad PR by them selling out to one company or the other. I just don't think it's needed. And I think they know that as well. And to be fair, the amount of money that they're going to be asking for marketing rights would probably bankrupt Sony anyway.
Yeah. I agree. Joe got copyright strike by Sony for GTA. So it's Sony that's copyright striking people for GTA. Says Steve.
Sony are copyright striking it? I don't know. It was
Yeah.
Rockstar that was doing it for the first trailer. Now Sony are doing it?
Now Sony are doing it.
That's interesting. What's Sony got to do with it? Unless you're playing it from their channel, then I guess I get that. But is there any Sony music in there? But that's the only thing I can think of.
Steve says the music. Maybe they're copyrighting it. Maybe they're doing it for the Temu controller.
No, it's probably music. Sony are really anal when it comes to their music. Really anal when it comes to their music.
Oh my.
Like, I remember I used a track
I mean,
once
most of
that
the music's
wasn't a Sony track, but it sounded like one. And Sony's AI, algorithm picked it up. And it took me like a month to appeal and fight against Sony for them to say, oh, sorry, we made a mistake. And they took their claim back.
You're probably right. But in my head, I'm still calling it the Temu controller that they're copyrighting it for.
I wish they would make an Xbox-style controller for PlayStation. I don't like the PlayStation. I think Razer do, right? I think Razer
Yeah, I think Razer
one.
does one, right?
Yeah.
And Razer do one for the PlayStation for Xbox because
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I don't like the Xbox controller layout.
So it does
I don't even
exist.
like the size of the PlayStation 5 controller. It's getting a bit too big. It actually hurts my hands because of how big the PlayStation 5 controller is. It needs to be smaller. Can I get smaller controllers again, please? They're getting way too big. Byron, the only game I'm August's Gears of War is, as much as I like Metal Gear, Gears of War, and then September is Borderlands. That's my end of the year sorted.
So Chille, here's the big question, the one that everyone wants to know, right? Are you agreeing right now, live,
Okay.
that you're gonna 1v1 Steve in Gears of War Reloaded?
I guess, sure.
With him
He'll kick my ass.
With him blindfolded, playing with one hand.
Only because he's too busy with the other hand over the fact he's kicking my ass. Sure. But I feel like blindfold is a bit unfair.
Nah, I just like to make it as difficult for him as possible. It's fine. He can deal with it.
Yeah, if anyone wants an example of how, like, I have to stretch my thumb out to actually reach the analog sticks on the DualSense.
Do you know what?
What?
Let's make it even fairer. Let's just disconnect his controller entirely.
Yeah. No, because then he's going to be playing mouse and keyboard.
Guy doesn't know what a mouse and keyboard is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Bags. I can't, like, I know some people touch their thumbs when they use the analog sticks because of, like, now there's a huge gap. Yeah, so the PS5. Yes, that Byron. I have small hands.
So, anyone heard of a game called Alien Rogue Incursion?
No, but I'm gonna guess it's a top-down.
Is it an old game? I'm seeing different things said about it. The deluxe edition of the game is like $40. You get the base, some camo stuff and whatnot.
It's a VR game.
Is it a VR game?
Yeah, it says it's a PSVR Quest game. Available. Oh, okay. It came out December 2024, but then it's coming out. It came out February on the Quest this year.
Ah. So that explains the omission of the Xbox.
Yeah. It was PS5 via the PSVR 2 and Windows. And then MetaQuest is just got it. It's no longer VR. It's okay. They're releasing a non-VR version.
Oh, they're releasing a non-VR version.
Says Steve.
Well, we do have a trailer for
I
it.
guess Evolved. I guess the reason why it's not coming to Xbox is because, in reality, consider the fact that it's already on PS5 and PC as a VR game. Everything's already done. Versus having to actually make it for Xbox.
Well,
So
let's check it out,
there's
see
a
what
huge
it's like.
chance the Xbox will come later.
I don't know. But it's right here. I thought we'd check out the trailer. It's just going to be a title screen, I bet.
No, it'd be gameplay, right? Because
Okay, this in VR would kind of be cool. This would be scary in VR.
I enjoyed the PSVR one. I wish VR 2 had got some more support.
Sony doesn't support their peripherals.
They don't.
The only reason PS Portal is successful is because they don't have to do anything. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
Oh man.
Hello! Fear has evolved. Alien Rogue Incursion Part 1 Evolved Edition.
Coming September 30th. Only part 1 though. You're not getting anything else.
I mean, because Part 2 never got released properly.
It's not so much about them caring that much. It's just Sony in general just doesn't care about their peripheral hardware. They released the PSP and pretty much gave up on it almost instantly. The PSVR,
Even though it was one of the best.
Yeah, it's a really big seller. PSVR
It wasn't outselling the DS for a while.
for a while it was, yeah.
Yeah.
PSVR they gave up. Then the Vita came out, which is a really good machine. I've been using it a lot lately, actually. And they gave up on that almost instantly. The PSVR 2 came out. Where's the first party games?
Yeah.
If you're not supporting
Where are any
your hardware-
games?
well, this is the thing. If you don't support your hardware, Why should anyone else? If you're not releasing your first-party catalog on there with exclusive games for that platform, why should anyone else make games for it? You know, and this was the whole idea. And, you know, this was the whole idea with Microsoft when they decided to bundle the Kinect with the Xbox console, with the Xbox One. Because if 60 million Xbox One sold, which it did, if the Kinect was bundled with it, that would be 60 million people. Whether they're using it or not is irrelevant. But that is 60 million people with Kinect. Now, you don't know how many people have a PSVR 2. You don't know how many people have a PSVR. These are all guesstimate numbers that people are throwing around. And the same thing goes for the Portal and, you know, the Portal, the PSP and the thing. You had these numbers, but how many of them were in active use? You can't tell. And if you as the parent company are not supporting it, you're basically telling the other publishers that you don't care for it. It's just there, and you've put something out there. If you want to use it, yay. If you don't, well, who cares? And that's really why they put it, you know, pushed it over to PC, to try and get a few extra sales, because it just wasn't selling. And Sony themselves just couldn't be bothered to support it. Which is annoying, by the way. But I like VR. I was playing Hitman
Same.
VR. That is a lot of fun.
I watched Thunderbolts. No, was it Thunderbolts? Yeah, I watched Thunderbolts in 3D. It's really good. I miss 3D movies. Some of them can be really well done.
They can. PlayStation is a third-party OEM console. What do you say to that, Chille?
No.
I mean,
it almost is basically that, right?
You might as well say that they are. I think
Because they all use pre-made parts by AMD. There's nothing really.
Microsoft's ones are specially made. They're tailored, inch by inch.
No, they're not. They're basically the same.
No.
No, they're the same. No, they're not.
They are specifically made, handed down by Asgard to Microsoft.
After Asgard had exploded from Ragnarok, maybe.
But that's in another timeline. In the timeline I'm talking about, it's still there. And you cannot deny that. You cannot refute this. Try refute that. Go on.
No, you can't. Technically, it's a different timeline.
Yeah, the only thing I can't do with Hitman...
Yeah, but all those things are software-based, not hardware-based.
Well...
Quick Resume is software.
It is, but it's so hard to actually get working.
Game Pass is software.
I mean, if Sony could get Quick Resume working properly, you don't think they would have got it done?
You're telling me that the software-based company has superior software than the company that's not software-based?
Absolutely.
My God.
But you say that, right? You say that, but why hasn't PC got Quick Resume?
Fair.
You know, I'd love PC to have Quick Resume, but it doesn't. And, you know, that's testament to the way the OS on this Xbox was designed.
Maybe we could see it in the future Windows. I doubt it.
I mean, I'd love to see it. You know, Quick Resume is actually really good.
Because the closest thing Sony has to that is the what do you call it? They have something, right, for the PS5. I've never used it. The card thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's only
I don't
one
think
game
I've
at a
ever
time.
actually used it.
It's one game at a time.
Yeah.
You can't do
Again,
more than
but
one.
again, I still don't think I've ever used it.
I mean, I just turned my PS5 off and put it back on, and the game is still waiting for me there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You love Hitman 3, but you never play it in VR? Trust me, dude. There's me sitting there, right, doing my review for Hitman VR, running around, and I am feeling really, like, after about half an hour, 40 minutes, like, my face was going blue. Because I was just feeling so squeamish. Then my son goes, just give it to me and let me do the recording. 2 hours later, man's like RoboCop, like totally unfazed, and I'm like, ow. And it's like,
Is that me though? Like, I'll admit I dislike most like Elder Scrolls games because I'm not that type of person to enjoy those. I'm not an open world guy, but Skyrim VR, oh my god, I loved it.
Save states are awesome too, but that's not exact. Save states aren't quick resume. You still need to
V-Banishes,
boot the
quick
game
resume
up.
probably doesn't work on Mirage because Mirage has online components, and online components can cause issues with any game, right? With quick resume,
Yeah, quick resume doesn't really work with online.
which is it makes sense.
Imagine being in Fortnite. All right, guys, I'm gonna shut down right now mid-game. I'll be back in like 4 hours. Make sure none of you move, okay? Because I'll be back in 4 hours. Come back, quick resume. All right, boys, as you were. Let's go.
Just pause, everyone.
Oh, well, I know what.
Weirdly,
save
Pony
state
doesn't like
is,
an Xbox
Lana,
IP all of a sudden.
but the whole notion.
Steve.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Weird the Pony doesn't like an Xbox IP all of a sudden. Steve, if you've met me in my entire life, I have disliked nearly every. I can never say what's the company's name. I can always say it wrong. I want to say it right. Chaos. What do you call the Elder Scrolls company? The company that made Elder Scrolls.
Bethesda.
That's it. Bethesda. Look, I cannot say their name.
Bethesda.
I always call it Bethsidia.
Where's the I in there?
I don't know.
Why?
But I've always, even when people like Starfield's coming to PlayStation, you've heard me on your podcast saying you can keep it. Like, I don't want their games. Yeah, Bethsidia.
No, Bethesda. I mean, some games of online work, like for example, Zenithzone Zero, which is always online. That actually supports full-on quick resume. They've actually got it working.
Nice.
So it's not impossible, but with the way Zenithzone Zero works, it is online, but it's kind of like a solo experience. So you never have to really kind of be aware of your surrounding on what's going on. It just reloads you back into where you were and off you go. Whereas if it's something like, say, Elder Scrolls Online or Final Fantasy 14, you know, it loads that particular state in memory. Yeah, if one of your buddies are there, they're just going to be stuck there for all eternity. And if it's as I've been playing and I haven't gone back in like when was 14 released? The expansion, they're going to be there for a long time in quick resume. Could you imagine?
By the way, I really can't wait for the end of this month for 14. I really can't. I can't wait till the end of this.
Waiting for me to come back from
Yeah.
quick resume. Damn you, chaos!
By the way, I really can't wait till the end of the month for 14 Chaos. I'm so excited for Phantom Islands.
Oh. What's that based on?
5 Crescent Island.
Oh yes. Has the campaign with 11 finished?
No,
Or
there's
is that still
still 2 more Alliance raids to go.
Yeah, I need to come back and start collecting some of that gear.
Yeah, and the music as well, because they add the music from 11 into the raid you can get, and also you can get some from the achievement as well.
Hey, let's
And
say
what-
it
I
ain't
wish
even
that-
my fault at this point. You know, I try to avoid
Yeah,
it
it
as
isn't my
much as
fault.
humanly possible, but do you know what?
I can't. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Steve. But I'm just so excited for Crescent Island because I like grinding, and there's so much grinding going to be in Crescent Island. So
I need to be right back, but Chille, what you can do for the next 2 minutes is fully educate Steve on the goings on in Eorzea. He doesn't know what game that's from.
No,
so
I'm good.
You can fully well do that. I'll be right back.
I don't want to scare Steve off forever. I don't want him to ban me forever. Yeah, at least give it a free trial. I'm not going to go through the spiel of the free trial. Bye, Steve. So, chat, how's everyone doing today? Bags, I actually really like grinding in games. Like that, I will throw on a YouTube video. Like, I will watch some chaos or something like that, and I'll have it on the second screen, and I'll be grinding for hours on the main game, because that's how I like playing my games when it comes to RPGs. I like to sit in one place until I'm so overpowered I one-shot the boss. But yeah, how's chat doing tonight? Are you all doing well? You prefer working with running games? Fair, Bags. I'm good. Been playing Midnight War. Nice. What is it like, Banisher? Susano, I'm dealing with memory issues as always. Willing, just learn more. Good luck, Susano. I'm good, thank you, Bullets. I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. As I said, I had some issues with frustrations with BT, but apart from that, I need to get my sleep schedule in play, really. Ty said 14 is a really grindy game unless you want all the end games. Yeah, 14 is very casual, especially nowadays. Yeah, sorry, they're trying to remaster 1 2 Fallout. I would say it could happen, Mysterious, but more likely Fallout 3 first. You gotta remember how much effort it's going to take to remaster 1 and 2. Oblivion has the benefit of the fact that it's old enough that it has a lot of modern conveniences. And so games like Fallout 1 and 2, Morrowind and all that lot would take a lot more effort to modernize and to remaster than, say, a lot of early 2000 games, because they were designed with a lot of modern stuff in mind. So, like, they would have to do a lot more to remaster it. That's awesome, Banisher. I'm not good with scary games at all. And Gamer says you're playing Shadows. I need to get back at some point. I had a lot. I was enjoying it, but I didn't play much.
Had to go get my drink.
Welcome back. So with that note,
what's happened with? Have you scared Steve with Final Fantasy 14? Has he jumped ship, or is he still trying to?
No, we were talking about other stuff. So, but he said he's going to leave, but then he said no afterwards. So, even though he said he's leaving, he didn't. So he lied.
He does that. You know, secretly, he actually has like the complete collections from 1 to 16. Yeah. He's even pre-ordered 17. He's just not telling us. He's the guy that has, you know, all the spin-offs too.
Yeah. Byron says Fantasy 14 online free trial is a great way to learn and understand the expansion of Stormblood, but the raid dungeons for Extreme, oh boy, that was a nightmare for me. Fair. Bullet says I think he's a fake Gears fan. Yeah, I don't think Steve owns a single copy of any Gears of War game. He rented them all from Blockbuster.
Oh, you guys are asking for trouble.
Steve is going to buy a PS5 for Gears gaming. He probably will do that, actually, just so he can own Gears. Just so he can own the physical. Did you see the fact that supposedly there's a physical copy of Gears on PlayStation and PC?
Not many.
Not many, but yeah.
On PC?
Yeah.
Why on PC?
Because supposedly it's a thing in Europe where they have a lot of physical editions, which are just codes and boxes. But they like owning the box. So companies sell the PC physical, which is just a digital code.
Interesting. Oh, that's in Spain, right? Because in Spain they've got this weird thing where they like to buy the cases and put them on their bookshelf. Yeah. Wasn't we talking about this not that long ago, where I said I'm sure this would be like a really good money earner for a company to do?
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we are. Spain delivered.
Yeah, they got Indiana Jones physical, Starfield physical, all of that. All of those got physical on PC in Spain. Yeah.
They might put up the Xbox price 68%. That's bad news for Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any news for Xbox. Like I was saying,
Just,
the hardware just isn't their main focus. It never, well, it hasn't been for a number of years now. I mean, if it was, they
Sana,
wouldn't tell you.
I remember when Pet Rocks went up in price like crazy for some reason. I remember when Pet Rocks was a craze. I owned a Pet Rock.
A pet rock.
Yeah,
A rock.
they sold them. Yeah,
You had a rock as a pet.
yeah, yeah. They sold as a craze in like the early 2000s.
It's
Don't you remember
it's a rock.
Yeah, but they added googly eyes to it and put it in a cage.
I don't remember this. Was this like a
That-
northern thing?
I guess, but yeah, I remember it being like.
The rock
Yeah, the early 2000s.
Pet.
Yeah,
phase.
like that.
I'm googling this shit.
Yeah, I remember some of them being quite expensive. Oh, yeah, 1975, and then it became like a big thing in like the early 2000s again. Because I remember it being like a. Oh yeah, World of Warcraft even added them at one point.
I've got a pencil you can have as a pet. This is the first time I'm ever hearing about it.
Really, man.
Yes, really. I mean, I was there for the whole those spinner thingies, whatever they were called.
Fidget spinners.
Fidget spinners. I was there for that whole craze and still didn't understand what people saw in them. I mean, I remember going and my kids were all over it. They'd walk into any shop. It's like, didn't you just buy 4 of them? And they'd be like, yeah, but that one looks really cool, so I want that one too. And I'm like, but you've got 4 that do exactly the same thing. Yeah, but you know what? I think it's just the age. I can see past the BS now.
Yeah, I remember Pet Rocks were like up to 50 to 60 quid sometimes for just a rock.
Mate, I got some sand that you can have as a pet. It actually moves around when you move the box. It's really cool.
But look, Tarnished, I was bullied to hell when I was in school. But I don't think that was my pet rock thing. I think I've told you the story before, right, Chaos?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I moved up from... Yeah, I remember Magic Sand. Oh my god, I remember Magic Sand as well. That was a 90s thing more than anything, Bullets, right? I think I was too young for Magic Sand.
Nah, Magic Sand came after. That was like in the 2010s and or 2015s.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember that one. I remember that one because my kids had it. I remember that one. And my 10-year-old, when he was 5, wanted it as well. So, or was he when he was a bit younger? Could have been. Or was it the Magic Sand? Magic Sand? That kind of magnetly came together. You remember that? Yeah, so he remembered it. So it wasn't that long ago.
Okay.
It was like a 2020 thing. You know, this is why, the pandemic happened.
Because of Magic Sand.
Yep. The world needed a reset. Once you start selling sand, you know I'm wrong, okay?
Guess what? Where do you think the sand came from? Our rocks.
The full circle has been achieved. Full circle has been achieved.
The pet
Jesus.
rocks died, and then they became sand.
Look,
I can't wait till the 2030s. Magic glass from the sand.
when I was a kid, we got a shoestring, tied it into a conker, and just started smashing everyone else's conkers.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, they started saying that was too dangerous.
Yeah, you got, you know,
We only got pet rocks.
I will say this, right? I will say this. I am so happy that I was, you know, brought up in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
Because being brought up in the 2000s, especially the 210 and 220, man, you guys missed out on living.
I remember when I was going to college, and they had a snack machine on the first floor, and everyone used to go there. But then Jamie Oliver opened his mouth, and then all the snack machines got removed.
But it's like, I remember when I used to go like secondary school. Was it secondary school? I think so. You know, you'd walk to the station and you can actually talk to people. Now, if you talk to someone, they think you're trying to assault them, or they'll be like, "Oh my God, you're offended me! Get away from me!" It's like, Jesus Christ! Look, I just said hello.
Yeah.
Like you can't even talk to anyone anymore. We've become so antisocial people. I don't think people even know what I just said these days. Nope. We weren't allowed in the house if there was light out. No, we wasn't. We wasn't. My mum used to kick me out at like 9, 10 a.m. She used to say, go play with your friends. And today it's like, you don't leave the house. There's some Xbox there or PlayStation, you play that. You ain't going out of the house. You don't know what's going to happen to you the moment I take my eyes off you. Different times, man. Back in our days, back when I was a kid, it was a totally different world. We have this trailer, though. Mafia, the old country. Whatever it takes.
Yeah, you're talking about old stuff.
I know. It's like the perfect segue, right? We've gone from old to the old country.
Yeah.
Except these guys...
I hope that's a pet rock.
Look, you need to stop with that pet rock. You need to show me proof that this actually existed. Hey, Brick, how's it going? I need to see proof that people actually walked around going, "Hey, man, look at my pet rock. I'm so cool, man."
I don't think people walked around with them. They just had them.
Look, I get a pet Tamagotchi, yeah? I can accept that one. In a really weird and wonderful way. But not a pet rock. So what did people do when they realized that the pet rock isn't actually going to do anything and doesn't actually move and doesn't ever, you know, require any form of looking after?
Yeah. I mean, that's why they liked them, because it had no. Yeah. Yeah. Susana said they used to sell them at gas stations. There used to be like novelty ones at different like towns where they would have like the emblems of the local area painted on like on the boxes and stuff.
Hey, Yuxon, quick question. Would you like a pet rock? Why not? Huh? It's useless. But, you know...
It doesn't poop.
10 years ago, it used to be like a thing where everyone wanted a pet rock in a box.
20 years ago.
20 years ago, apparently. Apparently, you could put a leash around the box and scrape it along the floor. I don't know, but you can take it for walks or throw it at stuff, and you know it will never complain to you. Okay, he said no. Huh? I mean, that's a valid question. That's a valid response, right? Why would I want to buy a rock when I could just pick one up off the floor? That's a 10-year-old, folks. Why would I want to buy a rock when I could just pick one up?
Man. Some of these pet rocks on Google though are so expensive and fancy. Man, I remember some. These are so fancy compared to what I had.
Hey, look, I am going to tell you it is useless, Susano, even though I probably lived through that generation. I do not want to buy a pet rock. I do not want to buy a rock. Right? I remember I went to the old Millwall Stadium and took a bit of turf. I didn't buy it though. And by the time I come home, it got destroyed. But hey, I didn't buy it.
You could probably sell that turf for like £1,000 though, in a jar.
I wish. Now that you mention it, they are better than normal pets. Yeah, because you don't have to look after them. Just put one aside and leave them there. They're not arseholes like cats are. Cats are like, you're my favorite friend. Okay, now feed me, bitch. If only we could understand what cats actually were saying when they wanted food.
Reddit, I don't know how true this is.
I used to have a parrot.
Again, I don't know how true this is. But supposedly one of the original creators of it, right?
Creators of what?
In 1975, so the origin of Pet Rock, 1975, they sold over 1 million in 6 months at $4 a piece.
Hey, Mysterious, have a good night, dude.
Anyway, we should move on before I scare everyone away.
$1 million.
Yeah.
I'm just
no, they sold 1 million Pet Rocks for $4. So that's 4 million.
I'm just in the wrong business. Yeah. I'm just going to go start collecting rocks and start selling them for $3.
That was 1975. So that with inflation, that's a lot more. Why is Chille an elf? Because this is my Lalafell from Fantasy 14.
That's his character from 14. Hey, Devastator. Alright, let's check this out.
Yeah.
Come in.
I'm coming in.
Bravery is not common in this world,
great.
and so loyalty, honor, obedience.
I'm a guy, Devastator.
They set the man apart from the rest. You took care of Messina, but this matter is not yet resolved. Will you help me bring it to a close? Of course, Antorisi.
That is just Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Call that a knife. Oh, he's lost his knife. Oh, no, never mind.
But we don't need those because that's it.
It's like a more violent. No, bullets. I'm talking about something else that he said. It's like a more violent Indiana Jones. It's like if Indiana Jones decided he wanted to be an 18+.
Almost, yeah.
And also looks a bit like Tom Holland.
It also feels like the... Did it feel really slow, that bit? This.
Yeah. Looks like a Q2E right there, right?
Yeah. But it also feels really sluggish, right? Or is it just me?
Yeah.
You again.
That bit there, it's almost like it's sort of full. This bit right there.
And he looks like Tom Holland there. I'm telling you now, he looks like Tom Holland. Not in all the scenes, but in that scene there. It looks okay. It didn't say what platforms it's on though, which is interesting.
Yeah. I think it's on everything. Yes, I know they had a deep dive earlier today.
Oh.
Yeah, Red Dead was another game it reminded me of. It kind of looked like it just borrowed from a number of places. But I found something that was really interesting, right, while I was scrolling through. If there's any other good trailers that people know of that of upcoming games, let me know. I'll play them. If there's anything else that was shown that I missed.
But yeah, I agree, Vanish. It does look good. I'm not. I like the Mafia games are really good. Like, so yeah.
But
Gears.
Sony cancelled
There's no Gears trailer, Steve.
Yeah, there's no Gears trailers. Did Mind's Eye release a trailer? Official? Did they actually do it?
They did have another trailer for pre-orders today, says Sasano.
No, it doesn't look like they released anything. Oh, they did 5 hours ago. Fractured Memories. It's only 30 seconds. We'll check that out. But before we get to that, there was one I wanted to see. But Sony cancelled a bunch of their live service games, right?
Yeah.
Only to go and create a live service studio.
Yep.
What am I missing here?
Made from Bungie team, right?
Yeah, but what am I missing? Why cancel 9 live service games and then build the live service team? I'm clearly missing something here, and I'd like to know what it is.
It's the team to support Marathon.
Do you think so? No, because they're working on a MOBA, right?
Yeah.
They're working on this weird
we
MOBA.
don't know what they're working on because it sounds like the worst convolution. Like, you saw what they wrote, right? No, they're working on a what you.
What am I hoping for June the 8th? Honestly, Devastator, I am hoping to see something that is going to surprise me, shock me, and be something that just came out of as a curveball that I wasn't expecting. I know, like, Nier Automata 2 is not a thing, and it's not going to be there, but Yokotaro, if you are listening, please make it happen. That would be something that would make me go over the moon.
Chaos. Our first game is a team-based action game, so it's not a MOBA. It could be a MOBA. We just know it's a team-based action game. That's based on platformers, fighting games, MOBAs, life sims, and frog games. I don't know. What is this?
Why?
What do fighting platformer MOBA like what and frog type games got in common? Are we gonna be playing? Are we gonna be playing like Frogger the MOBA?
I don't know, but why?
There's a dating element.
I get that, right? But why did you go cancel 9 games and then build a live service studio? That's the part I don't get. You got rid of 9 games. That's, that's a lot.
It's a lot of games. That's a lot of games. Even if not all of them were fully funded.
Team.
Like, even if only 4 of those were funded and 5 of them were in concept stages, that's still a lot of money in concept thrown out the window.
Yeah.
By the way, I have no idea. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but I'm just saying that I doubt all 9 of them had been past the concept stages.
Well, Spider-Man Into the Web was... Yeah. They had gameplay on that.
Yeah.
Factions had gameplay.
Last of Us.
Yeah. Factions had gameplay, which I was... that was criminal of them getting rid of. Apparently, Gears of War multiplayer was...
God of War,
sorry. Was into its development phase. You've got Horizon MMO. I don't know if that's still in the works. Or if that's been cancelled. Not really heard anything from that. But there's that.
Yeah.
And Ben Studios was working on something, or was that the God of War one?
I think that was the God of War. Because Ben Studios done God of War stuff in the past, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3-1 to United. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But you're talking about really big games here.
Yeah.
And They just got rid of it. I mean, could you imagine like a GTA style Spider-Man?
I mean, I'm looking forward to Spider-Man Online. I'm not going to lie. I like the Spider-Man game, so the online game would have made me so happy. Yeah. We actually had a developer from Borderlands on one of my podcasts recently.
It's just crazy. Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know it until afterwards, but yeah, we had one of them on my podcast. So.
By the way, it's $50 for Mafia. The old country.
Okay.
So that'll probably be $39.99.
Not bad.
So I really do believe that we have now entered a realm of variable pricing. I think now games
Well,
are just
return to the realm of variable pricing.
well, kind of, but this also means that certain games like GTA 6 are going to be 80 plus.
What do you mean, kind of? Remember the N64 era where some games were like £1 billion? And then the other
but
ones
the
were 40.
N64 was different, right? For a number of reasons. Number one, cartridges were way more expensive to manufacture than a digital server hosting the game or just a 5-penny disc.
I'm just saying that we're returning to variable pricing.
Yeah.
Even if it is for different reasons than it was originally, they're both still variable pricing. Even the PS1 technically, because you had the platinum versions. But that was later.
But, it's nice to see it, but this is going to swing crazily on the pendulum with certain games.
Yeah.
Not about to pay $5,000 for Dark Souls. I mean,
some people are paying. Some people are paying. What is it? 1,400 for Expedition 33. That's what some people are buying it for the collector's edition. The collector's edition is selling for about
edition, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, the PlayStation 5 Pro price could go up by up to 69%.
Nice.
That's mental. Wow. If you want one, just go buy it right now. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Screw the whole memeing side of it being a scam and whatnot. If you're on the fence, just buy one while it's cheap.
Yeah.
We're talking up to 70%. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're talking almost double the cost.
It's because the import charge is 100. Isn't it because the import charge into America is 120%?
That's ridiculous, though, man.
I said that Twitter post where someone their import to they've got a business address in America, right, and then they've got a house in Canada, right.
Mm-hmm.
If they got it sent to their home, it was going to be $1,300 for their merch to sell, right? Yeah, to import the stuff to sell it would cost them $1,300. The same merchandise, the tax alone was more expensive than the full product. The tax was $1,800. It was $3,000 to import it to their business address in America. $1,800 in tax.
It's crazy. They really need to resolve this problem.
It's okay. American beef won't be taxed in England. They announced that today.
Oh, we won't?
American beef and American beer will not get any tax when being imported from America.
Movies are getting taxed, though.
Yeah. The funny part about this, though, and what people don't, everyone's like, oh my God, that's cool. Do you know the funniest part about all this?
What, the movies?
No, the beef. Do you want to know the funniest part?
What's that?
It's American beef is banned from England anyway. Because they use a hormone for the cow that's illegal here. most of the beef is actually illegal, so they can't import anyway. So there's.
Hey, King, how's it going?
How the hell does a tariff apply to films? Yeah, there's a what you call it? I don't know how much the tariff is, but they're charging anyone that doesn't make a movie out, which is gonna suck because Avengers Doomsday is being filmed in London.
Sucks for them.
Yeah.
But, Chille, do you want to fix this statement?
To all who think GTA 6 is not in-game graphics, GTA Cinematic's gameplay have always been the same. Proof below. I mean, they're almost the same, right? But I don't think it's exactly the same.
No, but who wants to tell him that when you have no physical player control, the graphics look better?
Well, yeah. That's because they don't have to worry about the random camera.
Or
they
anything.
can focus on making the... Yeah. They can focus on making the scene look better because there's no player control, so they can make every minute detail shine. Even if it's exactly the same graphics, it's going to look better because they can focus on improving that scene more because they don't have to worry about rendering anything else off. Like, when you're playing the game, it also has to render other stuff, like in the background, like physics and stuff like that.
Exactly.
With a cutscene, it's not having to do any of that. So it can, even if it's the same,
it's not the same.
It should look better. If it doesn't, you're really messing up.
That's the point. When you have a cinematic scene that you've got zero control over and everything is basically a cinematic, on the, like, you know, which is essentially why they call it movie-esque. You know, what's happening there is the fact that you've got no player control means all of that processing now goes towards that scene, and it can up the number. You know, it renders just that bit better. It can render a slightly higher resolution, slightly better fidelity, slightly bit of everything, because the processing power that you're using to render everything else, including your controls input, is no longer using up any of that resource. So all of that resource goes to that one scene, meaning that you actually get a better scene. It's why when you're actually looking at some games, when they go into a cutscene, the quality just goes up just that one notch. But that's the difference between having physical control and not having physical control, and they're able to do that. And so when people say that's not gameplay, they're not referring to that it's not in-game graphics. What they're saying is, I have no physical control during that scene to control the game, so I'm not looking at what the game is.
We haven't discussed that yet, Chris. And King, I'm not sidestepping like a pony. I'm on the dot with this. I'm a pony, though. Nay.
He is a bona fide pony. But it's like, oh, Final Fantasy XI's having a Return Home to Vanadil campaign.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back for that.
May 16th.
Yeah.
What server?
I wanted to play it again anyway.
What server?
Ashura? No, I'm on a different server now, right?
I don't know.
No, I think I'm on Ashura. I think I'm gonna have to check because I made a new character when I came back.
It's Asura. There's no shit in there. There's no H. It's just because I'm on Bismarck, so I might transfer if you're on May 16th, and I'm joining you for a little bit.
Yeah. If my laptop will let me, because I tried to stream it, but my laptop would run out of battery even though it's plugged in for some reason. It was really annoying. What reason why I was stopped? Because it was turning itself off during stream.
The Maya Monster? Okay, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Lol, Brits. No, it's just me, King. Trust me, it's just me. Oh.
I mean, at least we can say aluminium correctly, right?
Yeah, it might be the battery, Susanna. My laptop's 5 years old now. I think 4 or 5 years old. I just need to invest into a PC at some point. But the issue is PCs are expensive.
He's so used to the Last of Us cutscenes, mission button prompts, but he wouldn't know real gameplay if it hits him in the face. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a
Yeah.
weird one with that guy. But at least he
Yeah, I need a new
admitted
battery.
that he gets paid. So, you know, good for him. If a guy's going to come
You have
out
an
and say, I
Acer
get paid
Predator
to show,
300. Sorry.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
You know, if you come out and say, I'm okay, I'll get paid to show, then you've openly admitted it. Do what you need to do, man.
There's been that huge drama over food reviews with that, right, recently. A couple of food reviewers came out saying the fact that they got paid for their reviews.
Well, that happens a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That happens a
Oh,
lot.
no, mine's a Predator 300 from like 2021. It's got a 2070.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's also...
Oh, shit.
What?
This is a little unfortunate for some people in the US.
It's also illegal in here in the UK, Sasano. Nice king.
Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa says if tariffs change dramatically, they will have to raise the price of the Switch 2. At this time, the top priority is to quickly popularize the Switch 2 hardware. If the assumptions
buy it
regarding
launch.
tariffs change significantly, we would like to consider what price adjustments we should make and implement them after considering various factors. So, that $450 price and $500 price is not finalized. I got Amazon price promise on mine, so I'm getting mine for $430.
Yeah.
Good old Amazon and their price promise. I bet they're regretting their life choices.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
32 gig King is the standard now.
But yeah, I've been looking at PCs because I really want to upgrade at some point. I might just... I'm tempted to just like cloud PC stuff.
I mean, you can do that. There's a company called Shadow that does it, right? But the problem with
Yeah.
those is they used to be quite cheap or fairly
Yeah,
priced.
now they're quite expensive.
They're really expensive now, so they've kind of priced themselves out of the market, in my opinion. Because I looked at that for a little while, but they're so know the amount that they're charging you just isn't worth it.
Yeah, because I can't. No, just in case it's out, but like, yeah, I remember a certain MMO having me use something like that for their media tour because of the illness.
Right. But
That was not fun, by the way. Right, I'm gonna tell you now, right? They have the servers in Japan. The cloud servers were in America, and I live in England. The ping to that was some of the worst things I've ever experienced in my life.
Oh yeah.
Living in England, playing on NA cloud servers that are trying to cloud into Japan.
That is not going to give you a fun experience, I can tell you.
No.
Chille was bouncing all over the world.
Yeah. They're like, try and review it off this. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I remember when we used to play on oh God, I can't even remember the server name. Sagnataurus? It was something like that. The American server. For 14.
Yeah,
everyone was
Sergeant
on.
Tyrannus.
That's the one. And yeah, trying to do Titan on that was fun. Trying to play Ninja was fun.
I was on Ultros then. Now I'm on Gilgamesh. I still play at NA. Tarnish Game is a simple thought process to would you rather buy a powerful hardware with a strong chance of getting certain things down the road, or Switch 2. If it was for that reason, I would rather buy the Switch 2 because I would rather support the original developer. I'm not for that first thing. I only support the first thing that you're talking about if the game is so old it's unavailable to legally purchase. And then at that point, I think it's fair game. Until there's something is not legally purchasable, no.
What? As we are on about Trump and tariffs, he's now trying to pass a bill for location tracking on NVIDIA GPUs with a kill switch to brick them. Why?
Is that a thing? Is that, I can't. Why do I don't believe that.
That sounds crazy. I mean, it's totally believable for Trump to want to do something like that, but why? And Brick, I don't blame you. If the new Asus handheld is as powerful as it says it is, it could pretty much be your mobile your roaming PC. It's powerful enough to do just that.
This is about AI chips more than anything.
But why brick it? I don't want some random person having the option to brick.
This isn't for you.
For who then?
This isn't anything about you. It's for more like for data servers.
But they would still have access to... It would be for all NVIDIA GPUs though, right? It would still be in there.
Probably.
So they'd have the capability to brick my...
Yeah,
Someone could go, oh, sorry, I just accidentally flipped the wrong switch. And everyone's 5080's just got bricked. Or 5090 got bricked.
better than setting the power supply on fire.
Hey, that's just because people don't use their cables correctly. So apparently Revenge of the Savage Planet is 30 FPS on console?
Okay.
Is this true?
I mean, at this rate, it looks more like 12.
Why would this game require... would not be 60?
Is it physics heavy, maybe? Okay.
So it's not Dave the Diver.
Is it 30 FPS because of the split screen?
Don't know, but why this game would be 30 FPS is beyond me. Well, if you want to play 30 FPS gaming, apparently now you can. It's available now. Go buy it.
With the Ding Dong Influencer Extreme Routine Accelerator program. I'm sorry, but the P was really hard to read.
It doesn't say.
Maybe they're trying...
That it does, but how is this 30 FPS on console?
The only reason why I think is because of the split screen.
I don't know. Really weird.
Because split screen can be quite demanding.
It can be, but come on.
Because it's just rendering the game twice.
Yeah, but come on. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'll save that for later. Oh. GTA prices their game. Rockstar prices their game at $60.
I mean, that'd be amazing, but I doubt it.
That would be interesting, right?
Yeah. But yeah, actually, this day and age, supporting devs that raise their price of broken product every year is not priority for me. Fair. I mean, I can see it being £60 for the single player. I can see it £60 for the single player Chaos.
Yeah, but still. It feels a little...
We will see.
Feels a little... I mean, if they did that, I think that would be probably one of the biggest FUs to
Be
the...
a massive W.
Yeah, it'll be a massive W for us, but it would also be a big FU to, you know, like all the other companies pushing for $80. It would like be a massive FU to them.
Yeah.
Should be 250 base. Woo!
Imagine if they're just like, But yeah, imagine if they sell it for 60 because they know they're going to make all the money back from microtransactions anyway because of GTA Online.
King, what if it's like £2,000? You still gonna buy it?
Imagine if it is $2,000, but it comes with a actual car.
No, it's not gonna. That would be 20. That would be like 40 grand. $5,000. I want to see what his cutoff point is. Would you buy it for $5,000?
Comes with $5,000, but it comes with a motorbike, a little motorbike,
No,
GTA motorbike.
It just comes with downloadable content, like it's gonna do anyway. Maybe with like a replica car built in.
King
like
says
a
I got
small
credit.
car. He said that for the $2,000. I don't know if he'll pay $5,000 for it.
What would I? But
Back to sell his house. Okay, game over.
I will pay $5,000 for Final Fantasy 7 Part 3 if it came with a life-size statue of Tifa.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. How much would you pay?
I would pay the $5,000 if it came with a life-sized statue of Tifa.
Well, and you guys said I was a gooner. We got a resident.
See, Seth says it would. I didn't say with jiggle physics. It's an actual statue.
Wait. $5,000 without the jiggle physics.
Yeah, this was just for the statue, just a normal statue.
Dude, what is wrong with you? At least have the jiggle physics.
No, because that's kind of pervy. This is just a statue.
What, and having a life-size statue of Tifa in your bedroom is not pervy enough for you?
Where did I say bedroom?
You're either
They can
gonna
go in the front room
with this or not at all.
He can go in the front room.
My dude, you've opened the door.
Literally, he can go in front of the front door.
Dude, you've opened the door. There is nothing you can say at this point that is going to take away what's going on.
He can go in the front door. You got all the way and not all. Fair bullets. But no, I wouldn't want jiggle physics. I would want it just as a normal statue. Yeah.
Jiggle bullets with removed clothes.
Look, I'm just like Chaos was like talking about what people would spend the $5,000. That's the only way I would spend $5,000 on a game. It would have to be something like that. I don't even have $5,000, so. Don't blame Chaos for your mind. I'm just saying that's what I would spend $5,000 on a game for.
Wait, don't blame Chaos for what?
For your gutter mind.
That's right. You know. That's what it's all about. What's so heavy about a Tifa statue? Tifa is
Yeah,
it's
see?
like
You're the
Chaos.
ones... You're the ones that made it
Hey,
pervy.
Look. Tarnished also knows why he's saying this. He's also out there petitioning Square Enix as to why they nerfed Tifa as well. He was there day one alongside you, protesting outside
What?
Square Enix headquarters. We have video evidence.
It wasn't even nerfed.
No,
don't-
she got nerfed.
No, she didn't.
She got nerfed.
Everyone compared it to that one cutscene where it
everyone
looked really
compared it to
bad because
PS1.
it was the graphics.
Everyone compared it to PS1.
Yeah. That one cutscene.
What cutscene?
The one where Cloud falls into the crater and she leans down to pick him up. And because of the angle, it makes look like she's more endowed than she is.
You see, I don't even know what he's talking about, but my dude remembers it frame by frame. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. And here's my dude reliving that moment frame by frame in 8K.
No, don't you? Yeah, I remember because Cloud was gonna falling into the
Where is Steve? Oh, I just played that game. Susanna trying to use bleach for his mind. See, Chille is also Tifa connoisseur. I see. I knew it. I told you where Tarnished was going. I told you where he was going. It was obvious where he was going. And you tried to have Tarnished. Susanna just finished the 2 out of 10 clue. It was one of the super secret hidden cutscenes.
Just like that other cutscene that I can't even talk about on YouTube.
So Death Stranding.
You know that
2 's-
cutscene.
Which one?
The one we can't talk about on YouTube. In fact, the original Final Fantasy 7.
At the end of disc 1?
End of disc 3. Well, near the end of disc 3.
Dude, do you know how long it's been since I've played the original Final Fantasy 7?
If you have a high enough relationship meter with Tifa, there's a
the
certain
remake.
cutscene
I
that can
haven't
play.
played Rebirth yet.
No, in the original game had a relationship meter.
Did it?
Yeah,
I never saw it.
it was not visible. It was hidden.
That's why I didn't see it.
Yeah. Depending on how you treated each character, you know the golden saucer.
Yeah.
Depending on how you treat people before the golden saucer, you could get different characters to go on date with you, depending on your behavior to them before that.
Yeah.
So you could get Tifa, Aerith, Yuffie, Red 13, or Barret.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
When I finally started playing Final Fantasy 7,
Yeah, I did.
I just got my Xbox.
Ah,
And then I had
that
Halo.
explain it. Yeah.
And then I got stuck on disc 2. Well, not stuck, but disc 2 was really boring because apparently if you don't meet Vincent, or if you don't find Vincent, or actually manage to, tag along with Yuffie, however you pronounce her name,
Yeah.
disc 2 is really shit. It is so
Yeah,
boring.
'cause-
It is mind-numbing how bad disc 2 actually is if you don't interact with those two characters. It is so bad
Yeah, because
that playing
you skip most of the
Tom-
Wutai stuff, right?
Yeah, you don't encounter any of that. It is so bad, right?
Yeah.
That Knack actually starts to look good. That's how bad it actually got. And then Halo came along, and I was like, I could continue with this snooze fest or become Master Chief and blast aliens. And I kind of never looked back.
Square is lagging him out. That's what's happening right now. Yes, as Anna said, most people didn't know that there was more than just the gold saucer that was impacted. There's a cutscene at the end that I can't describe on YouTube because it's very suggestive.
Mate, it's PS1 graphics. You're not going to see anything.
No, you don't see anything anyway. There's nothing shown in the cutscene at all. They don't show anything at all because they would have had to bump the age rating up. No, I'm not doing it.
Doing what?
King says describe it. I'm not doing it. I'm not
No.
gonna... No.
Here's a really weird random question for you, Chille, and I guess this can go to the chat as well. Who on X, if you have an X platform, if you're on X, who is the most famous person following you?
I don't know. I have a lot of followers, so I don't know.
Who is the one that you basically say, like, that you would flex over, saying, this person is following me?
The Chaos Lounge.
Okay, you're out. Anyone else?
I don't know.
But that was the right answer.
The only flex I have is the fact that I've got the old CEO of Sony on my friends list on PlayStation. That's the closest I have.
I have Yoko Taro.
I have no.
Albert
I
Einstein.
wonder if there's a way to...
That'd be interesting. Impressive, wouldn't it?
I have no idea, really, to be honest. Like,
Wait, you don't know who Yoko Taro is, Bags? Nah, that's some BS. He's joking, right? Tell me he's joking. Oh, he's not joking. He's the guy behind Drakengard, the Nier games, and a bunch of others. Well, that was a surprise to see from Bax. But I'm done with everything I actually wanted to cover in this video. It was the Xbox stuff. Is there anything else anyone has? What video, I'd say stream. Is there anything else anyone has or anything anyone wants to talk about, check out, or anything I missed that's newsworthy this week? Anything you want to talk about, Chille?
no, not really, to be honest.
Mind's Eye? Oh, right. We were talking about that earlier, wasn't we? I think this is the one from Mind's Eye. I actually had it open as well.
Hunter Morrison, what?
It's only a 30-second trailer, though. Is this the one you're talking about?
Hunter Morrison was
No cheaper body pillows, says King.
His research into AI is the foundation for Silvercorp's proprietary
Morrison's?
technology.
Finally, a shooting game based on the
Series of
supermarket.
prototypes meant to fuse an organic host with AI. No examples of these prototypes have been seen until now. The real question is, how do you have it?
Where can I find Morrison?
It's the million kroner question.
What?
June 10th.
Yeah, sure. That's in a month, right?
Yeah, 2 days after thing. I think they're going to have their first proper reveal on June the 8th or whenever the showcase is for Summer Games Fest.
Then it's out 2 days later.
Yep.
okay.
I mean, they just don't. It's one of the weirdest things I've seen in a while. They're just not explaining anything. They don't show anything for that game.
I don't think it's an MMO, King. I don't know what it is. Open world cyberpunk game. No, I don't know if it's that. It looks to me like one of those story-based games, like as we were talking about with Contract Dream earlier.
It's
A
not an
single player
MMO.
with another game built. It's like GTA had a baby with Cyberpunk. Okay. So it's Saints Row.
No, nothing's as bad as Saints Row.
Saints Row was good.
Not the remake.
The original Saints Rows were good.
Yeah, not the remake. The remake took everything that made Saints Row good out. You know, like when you could run into a shop, pick up a dildo, walk out and beat the living shit out of the people with a dildo. You can't do that in the new one.
Yeah. Wait, what? Why would you not do that?
Because it's offensive.
Man, but that's Saints Row.
But it's offensive and it offended people.
Oh, but that's Saints Row.
Here's an option. Don't play the game then.
Oh, that sucks.
You remember me?
But now, when you say Cyberpunk, if you say GTA clone with more sci-fi action, I think it's Saints Row, just with a more realistic style.
I still don't understand what you mean by Maya Monster.
I don't even want to Google it because it scares me. Google doesn't even know what it is.
The best one is San Andreas.
Oh my god! Talking about that though, imagine if they bring back the weight system into GTA 6.
What do you mean weight system?
Remember, you could, if you ate too much food, your character could get fat.
Oh yeah, I remember that mechanic. Like, because that was totally a cool idea, right?
I mean, it's an idea.
No, why would anyone want to do that? Has anyone heard of a game called Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon?
Yeah.
No?
No.
No one's heard of it?
Nope, never heard of it.
Apparently it was just released on the Xbox Store. Oh, Inferial is coming as well. That's interesting. I played this on due to a friend's recommendation on Steam, and it actually was decent.
Nice.
You can check out those two trailers because it was quite fun. Tainted. All right, Tainted.
I'm gonna be right back.
Let's have a look at Tainted. We're looking at Tainted, boys. Hey, Knight, how's it going, buddy? Ten out of 10, you can fish. That's it. This game's already a 10 out of 10 for me. It's got a spider, it's dropped down to a 9. Probably an 8.
I can feel them in the weirdness. You must join me.
She just had a sword come out of her boobas. Who does she think she is? Raiden.
Together, can we find all the fragments of my soul?
The fuck was that voice? Wait,
The fragments of my soul.
the fragments of my soul. Talk about low budget.
Only together can we save this island.
You can pre-order it today for $49.99 USD. It's actually nice that we're getting games priced at around the $50 mark. I'm actually really impressed with the fact that this is starting to happen more and more. That is really cool. Imperial launch trailer.
Immortality.
This might not be the game I'm thinking.
The tree of life itself is to be found here.
I see what you did there, King. Oh, this is the game I played.
The divine spark will come when the monolith is opened.
It was one of the games that was available during the Steam Indie Fest. It's out now though, on Xbox Series X and S. Don't want to leave the S out. Why not, King? On a Tuesday.
Yeah, King. Maybe I'll take a week off and someone else can be on instead of me. I'm sure the chat would enjoy that.
Yeah, Imperial. What do you mean? Did I finish it? It was just a demo. Bags.
Oh. Oh, and I've also been playing Balatro now that it's free on Plus. I've been enjoying it. Ah, thank you, Calandros.
Is Chille alright though?
This will be my last time on the show. You're welcome, everyone.
What? Oh, that's a really good controller. It's not official. I don't care.
Are you talking about the
I saw a GameCube
Yeah.
controller. This one here.
Yeah. Oh, that's no. I saw it be tweeted by retweeted by Ibs. Yeah, the same controller.
That's a pretty nice controller, right?
Yeah. But it'd also be frustrating to play with. That's a controller you would want to buy to have as decoration.
I want to buy to own for life and then play with it. Come on, conquer all
I don't
video
know.
games. No? Not
What?
at all?
It's just I said Whitestone's too easy, so I don't like it. And also the fact that it's not got the correct button markings for the games. The Mario is cool, but I don't know. Not having the correct letters in the right spot would be frustrating when gaming. We know where they are, but for casual players. That is true. The N64 controller was something else. But thank you, because it was the first controller with an analog stick, right? I think the game,
What's
the N64 was. I think the N64 was one of the first controllers with an analog stick. Because
Yeah.
Sony adopted it afterwards, right?
Yeah. It was a
Because
digital
Sony
D-pad
adopted.
first.
Yeah. We got Kings looking up stuff now. I'm sorry.
Forza Horizon 5. It looks like they're happy that it sold 1.2 million units, but apparently
Yeah.
whoever this DI Rec Gaming is not happy that it sold 1.2 million in less than a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not bad for a really old game, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
At $70 as well. Considering people paid for early access as well. So you're looking at $100 as well.
Yeah.
Why?
That is
What were
insane.
they waiting for? It's outselling PlayStation first party? More than likely.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have any, so.
I mean, it's the first arcade racing game in years on PlayStation, really. So it's got a lot of people that have been waiting for it because of that.
I know, but the fact that it's outselling PlayStation first party, you don't have any.
Oh yeah, that's gonna say we don't have any.
It's not hard to sell more than 0.
Yeah.
Oh. Man, if I was a PlayStation fan, I would feel really aggrieved. Having bought a PS5
Brickwall,
Pro.
Sony had Gran Turismo. Sorry, Brickwall. But the thing is that Gran Turismo is a different market. I know they're both racing games, but Gran Turismo is focused on
Simulation.
like the simulation versus Horizon, which is focused on the arcade. Now, if you're comparing the main Forza title, because Motorsport is simulation based, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Horizon is arcade.
Arcade, yeah.
Yeah. More arcadey. It's open world, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it looks like Crap Gamer is going to, every day, ask Phil Spencer to resign.
I mean, when you call yourself Crap Gamer, I kind of lose any respect for you anyway. Unless you said Crab Gamer, in which case... Ugh.
It's weird.
But
How
imagine the
someone can
world
have-
if... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Imagine the world if Yoshida, Reggie, and Phil all resigned at the same time. They just go up on stage and they all just all up on stage and shake hands and resign at the same time. Imagine what the world would have happened then.
He's still crying 6 years later, yeah. Well, actually, technically it's been 10, right? Was Quantum Break 2015 or 2016? Because he started crying back from then when that game went day and date to PC. He actually cancelled his pre-order.
God, I forgot about that game. That was the one that had the TV show, right? 2016.
Yeah. Such a good game. An amazing cast. Let's see if I can find a trailer for it.
Man. Do you remember Defiance? That was a good game as well. That had a TV show as well. Anyone in chat remember Defiance?
Defiance, yes. I mean, just look at the cost for this game, right? There's Littlefinger.
As you are, as a friend, as an old enemy. Take your time.
Like it was a blockbuster cast.
Choice is yours, don't be late.
This was such a phenomenal game. I'm surprised many more didn't play it. And there's still more actors in here that didn't actually get revealed. Because it has Lance Reddick in there as well. It is on Game Pass. That's correct. If it's done right, Bags, I don't mind it at all. I think it actually adds to the experience. If it's not done right, then I think it's bad.
Time is going.
I mean, that's Susanna. That's because all Remedy games are connected, right?
Yeah, here's another trailer for it.
End. You have to trust me. Or what?
For anyone that might be interested in playing it.
Jack, run!
We can't see it, by the way. Just a heads up.
Well, that might be a problem, right?
We can hear it.
End.
Look, it was all part of the plan because it's, I'm trying to, quantum break.
Jack, run!
Why are you helping me? You're with them.
It's more complicated than... Our fate is laid out before us, Jack. Everything that happened to get us here...
But yeah, this is within the Alan Wake universe or the Max Payne universe, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah, because Max Payne is also in the Control slash...
Yeah,
basically the Remedy verse.
yeah. And Alan Wake actually has references in this game as well. But yeah, I remember. Man, I really want a sequel to this. And Remedy actually wants to do it. Aaron Ashmore has openly asked Microsoft to do it as well. And Microsoft owns the IP, but they won't do anything with it.
My name is Paul Serene. I've seen the end of time.
The Timeless Collector's Edition. But yeah, so Aaron Ashmore has reached out and said he wants to do a sequel. Remedy have come out and said they want to do a sequel. Hell, everybody in the game came out and said they want to do a sequel, but Microsoft won't do it. And they won't give the IP away either. See, that's the part that really pisses me off. If you have no intention of using the IP, give it back to Remedy. Let them use it and do something with it. Why are you just leaving the IP to rot? That aspect of companies really irritates me, like a lot.
Yeah, it's frustrating that.
Because there's so many IPs that people want to... Because Remedy have made it, have spoken about this multiple times now, where they actually want to do something with this franchise. But Microsoft keeps giving them the cold shoulder. Like, if you don't want to do anything, just sell the bloody IP. I keep mixing Aaron and Sean up. They looked way too similar. But they, if you don't want to do anything, just give it away, man. This applies not just to Microsoft, it's to all studios. Yeah, look at the number of CDs you needed, DVDs you needed to install this game. Jesus Christ. And all of that is now on Blu-ray.
Yeah. That is. Man.
He was. He was also in a Fringe as well, I think, or was that the other one? Like I said, they look so similar. I can never tell. I always mix them up.
With
Insert-
Insert Disc 5.
Banisher agreed. If they've got no intention of doing anything, Nintendo will do something with Banjo. They will. Nintendo will make a game out of that straight away. But yeah, this is one of my all-time favorites. It's up there. It's in my top 10. If you haven't played it, you absolutely do need to play it. It's got a great story.
I have not played it.
And yes,
I haven't played any Remedy games, really, apart from the first 2 Max Paynes.
I know a lot of people didn't like the the episodic intervals, I guess you can call them. But they added so much context that the game just couldn't do in itself, in between connecting each level, that they were actually fun and interesting to watch. The whole immersion aspect of it was really well done. And considering how good the graphics were for this game. Who knows, maybe one day I'll play it on a stream. I really liked it. I wouldn't mind replaying this again. I am live, ain't I? You guys are watching me live?
I mean, I think you're live, right?
I hope so. How is everyone listening to me?
Refresh if you're not live, because sometimes you lag out and it doesn't go live anymore.
I know
That's why I
OBS
hate
had a
YouTube
little bit of a
streaming.
hiccup earlier, about 20 minutes ago, where it said it disconnected and reconnected. No, he's right.
Yeah.
It's actually no longer live. YouTube is saying it's not live anymore. Oh, good old OBS.
But it says started streaming 3 hours ago. But how are we responding to people if we're not live? I'm confused. My brain hurts.
Well, that's not it.
But we're live for me.
Oh no, it's still showing I'm live. It is. I can still see the thing.
Okay.
It's an excellent connection. Public. Everything. 35 people watching. Doesn't give it
35 likes.
It shows that I
36 likes?
started at 7:45, bang on. 36 likes it shows. And peaked at 63. And then it's been dropping, and it dropped down to 25 when OBS had a little stutter. And I went back up to 35 people again. What if we're all in a simulation? Who knows? That would be funny. It's all pre-recorded. I'm just guessing what you're all saying, right? I just knew at this moment you were going to say that. Now you're wondering, am I actually saying that? Or have I recorded this?
Boo, because we talked about like. Nah, I shouldn't say that. Now it's 37 likes. Let's go. And not because I logged into my other account to like it twice.
Everyone starts saying random numbers.
Yeah.
Yes, it just...
You're actually just notification. Yeah, I didn't see a notification on my side either. Even though I normally get a notification about you going live. Didn't even appear in my subscriber feed.
I think I released too many videos today. That's why. There's only 3 notifications that go out per day.
Yeah.
And if I look at how many videos I released today. Let's have a quick look. That might be it, because normally on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I kind of hold back on how many videos I release for this reason. But yeah, so today I had the video that came out this morning, early hours, that had 2 notifications, one for members. No, that I think, yeah, and then we had the second video that went straight out to try and catch people. And so, yeah, I think I run out of notifications. That's why I post. I mean, I did post it. It automatically posts on Discord, and I did post it on social media as well. You know, following me on social media has its perks, right? But or just being in my Discord.
Getting
so
a
you get
random
the ping.
DM at 7:30 is also one of the perks.
See?
Sorry about that.
Wait. What happened? What did I do? What did I do? Oh, Gorsty disliked it. How dare he? I didn't shit talk Gears. I just said no one supports Liverpool.
Do dislikes do anything anyway?
Yes.
Okay.
They basically play towards the algorithm. If you get too much negative, then it stops recommending that video to people.
Oh well. Okay.
Game Pass dropped a few
I'm lucky.
games
Most
today.
of my videos get most likes, but I've had some with dislikes. But mostly likes. Well, I guess we're going to start wrapping up.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what he said. The Game Pass thing. Just having a quick look at that, and then, yeah, we're going to start wrapping up because I don't really have anything else, unless anyone else does. What did Game Pass drop today? Dragon Ball Z Universe? Oh, so they dropped these two. Revenge of the Savage Planet, which we just saw, is now on Ultimate and PC. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants Unleashed. The art style looks weird. Why is the
Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles?
Thanks for demonetizing me. I'm joking.
I use the correct term, Hero Turtles, so that's fine.
Hey Chris, I don't have anything other than there's not much
You
else
talk about
news.
Yeah.
Unless anyone's got a video I can react to.
Xenoverse 2 is also now on Game Pass. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. But trust me, with the amount of money you're going to spend buying the DLC for Xenoverse 2, it should be free anyway. Because trust me, Xenoverse 2 has so much DLC. Xenoverse 2 came out, was it 2026? And it's 2016, sorry?
2026 it came out, huh?
Came out in the future. Traveling back in time. 2016. I don't know how many DLC. There's a lot. There's a lot of DLC. But to be honest, Xenoverse 2 is probably one of my favorite Dragon Ball games of all time. I don't know if you've ever seen anything about Xenoverse. Chaos.
A little bit. I know Taz liked it, so he kept talking to me about it. So I had to.
You can make your own character and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got raids. It's got like quests. It's cool. I have a margin. I still love the fact they took the online because the margins, the only real margin is Boo. They took the backstory from the online chaos. Basically what happened was Boo found one of Hercule's adult magazines and was curious about what was happening in the magazine, so made a female version of Boo so he could work out what was happening in the magazine. and that's where the race started.
Interesting. Oh yeah, this is butter.
Is
Xbox
it? Yeah, it is butter. Oh, yeah, that's not cheese.
And for the
Do you
eagle
think
eye,
it's real?
there it is. No, it's not real. It's AI rendered. Do you see the
Oh.
Xbox logo there?
Oh yeah.
Kind of like
Yep.
etched into
X
it.
marks the spot.
Yep. But it's there. So that's basically it.
And the analog sticks look good as well. Those look like some decent analog sticks.
When do you think we're going to see it, Chille?
Not Tokyo Game Show, but like, you know, isn't there like a tech show at the end of the summer? CES, right?
Isn't
Or has that already happened?
That already happened at the start of the year.
Okay. No, I don't know. It'd be cool if Microsoft brings it up on stage at the showcase.
I think that would be like the best play. Now that it's, you know, it's the cat's out of the bag and everyone kind of knows what the design is.
Yeah.
At this point, I think they should just come out and say, here is a first look at the, you know, the design.
Phil just holds it up on stage.
Or, you know, he could just have an interview and just put it in the background on one of his shelves so everyone can just start scanning it and then theory crafting about it for the next 6 months.
Yeah. German Gamescom. You're talking about... No, I've forgotten it myself. It's just Gamescom, right?
You've got Gamescom, you've got the Tokyo Game Show.
Summer Game Fest.
Summer Games Fest, the stuff. And the end of year Game of the Year Awards.
Game Awards. Yeah.
It's about 31 centimeters wide. And I think it's like 20 centimeters or something like that tall. Yeah, 30 centimeters. I don't remember how wide the Steam Deck was, but it's a beefy boy.
Yeah.
Also available yesterday, you had, as you know, Dragon Ball Universe. Dungeons of Hinterberg was available on Standard, so was Flintlock and Metal Slug. Standard is getting quite a few games now.
Oh, Metal Slug. I remember that.
Tactics.
I put
It's
so
an
much money in
RTS.
the arcade back in the... Oh, never mind.
This is RTS because we all need an RTS. I mean, as with us all, Susano. As with us all. But it's still interesting in my opinion. But I want to know the price, and I think the Xbox showcase on June the 8th will be a perfect place to actually showcase the device. Take it easy, Steve. That's my opinion anyway. So I think I'm going to end it with this. This is from Palwell Community Manager. We would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for the continued support of our fans over the past few months. We apologize for not being able to share as much information as we would like, but we trust our fans understand how difficult it is to be fully transparent while litigation is ongoing. Currently, we remain involved in prolonged legal proceedings regarding alleged patent infringement. We continue to dispute these claims and assert the invalidity of the patents in question. However, we have had to make certain compromises in order to avoid disruptions to the development and disruptions of Palworld. On November 30th, 2024, we released patch version 0.3.11 for Palworld. This patch removed the ability to summon pals by throwing pal spheres instead changed it to a static summon next to the player. Several other game mechanics were also changed with this patch. As many have speculated, these changes were indeed a result of the ongoing litigation. Everyone here at Pocket Pair was disappointed, but that this adjustment had to be made, and we fully understand that many players feel the same frustration. I mean, couldn't they have just done a different animation instead of throwing a ball? I don't know, throw a triangle.
Right. Yeah. But I think it's the throw mechanic. I don't know if it's just because it's a ball, or if it's just a throw mechanic altogether.
Fine, kick it.
Yeah.
Fling it into the air and kick it. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
No, seriously, why not? Nintendo can't
No,
do
just
anything
they
to that,
pop
right?
next to you now.
I know, but why not do something? I mean, if they still wanted that mechanic, why not just do something like that? Or, you know, throw it into the air, take a baseball bat out, and whack. I would have done something like that just to piss Nintendo off, right? Because at that point, I'm still getting the animation I want. I'm still getting the aesthetic I want. And I'm just rubbing it in your face because I've just found a loophole. Because I'm not throwing it at that point. Right? That's what I would have done. Unfortunately, as the alternative would have led to an even greater deterioration of the gameplay experience for the players, it was determined that this change was necessary. Furthermore, we regret to inform our players that with the implementation of patch version 0.5.5, we must make yet another compromise. From this patch onward, gliding will be performed
This is bullshit.
using
I'm sorry.
a glider rather than with pals. Pals in the player's team will still provide passive buffs to glide, but players will now need to have a glider in their inventory in order to glide. So you'll still be on a pal, but you'll need to have a glider in order to glide. Is that correct?
Yeah, but the PAL will not be visible as the glider. You'll have an actual glider.
Let me read that again. Pals in the players' teams will still provide passive buffs to gliding, but players will now need to have a glider in their inventory in order to glide.
So if there's a PAL that gives like a bonus, like in like how long you can glide for, you'll still get that passive.
So why don't they just change it to flying?
Because Pokemon has flying as well.
But so does Final Fantasy 14. So does World of Warcraft.
But not well,
I mean, it's literally just the mount, right? It's at that point, it's not even a PAL. It's just the mount that you're using to fly around the world.
That's exactly what they're doing right now with gliding, really.
Yeah. So instead of gliding, change it so you can actually fly, and that's it. It's done.
Yeah.
See, I am petty enough that where I would make these changes just to make Nintendo even more angry, because at that point, then, you know, I would put it to the courts. Why aren't they attacking anyone else? This is vindictive.
Yeah. They should go after basically anyone. You should go after Final Fantasy 7 because the Chocobos glide. Yeah, you jump and glide with the Chocobos, right? In 7, you don't fly.
That's another thing. What Brick is saying is true. Well, no, because they're not using pets to glide, right? That's the point,
I mean,
Brick. They're saying you can use a glider like you can in Zelda, Genshin, Wuwa, and stuff like that, but you can't use a pet to glide.
So a Chocobo. You shouldn't technically be able to use that.
And this is why
remember,
Nintendo needs a reality check.
Is it Nintendo or is it the Pokemon Company? Because remember, Pokemon Company isn't owned by Nintendo.
Look, Nintendo is pulling the strings.
Yeah.
There's no shot that Pokemon is doing this. This is all Nintendo, because these infringements, these patents are by Nintendo anyway, not the Pokemon Company. We understand this will be disappointing.
Because people get confused, but Pokemon is, if I'm right, isn't owned by Nintendo.
The Pokemon Company is not. It's a like a it's
Yeah.
like a second party company.
It's
what
a
they call it.
subsidy, really.
But as I said, finish your saying, we understand that this will be disappointing for many, as it is for us. But we hope our fans understand that these changes are necessary in order to prevent further disruptions to the development of Palworld. We also want to extend our apologies to our fans for the discomfort and concern this ongoing litigation has caused. We remain committed to developing Palworld
Yeah,
and
Game
delivering
Freak.
exciting new content to our fans. On behalf of everyone at Pocket Pair and Team Palworld, thank you again for your continued support. I mean, this is bullshit.
Yeah, you're right, Diablo. It's Game Freak that's Pokemon. Pokemon Company is the TCG stuff, right?
I think it's all
Game
just
Freak
under,
is the
I think
main
it's all
one.
under one umbrella, though, right?
No, I think it's separate.
I mean, Echoes are
Yeah, anyway, this
technically
is
just Pokemon.
stupid. Oh, this is all stupid, no matter what. I know we're going off topic, but this is bad.
This is, I mean, Nintendo needs a rude awakening. Nintendo needs someone like Microsoft to go after them, really go after them with something that they can win, that Nintendo really doesn't want to lose, and absolutely destroy Nintendo for this. You know, Nintendo just needs a good slapping to put them back in their place because they think they're, you know, untouchable at the moment. And I genuinely believe that Nintendo needs a good slapping. And you need someone that's, you know, got the financial backing to really put them in their place. And it's disappointing that they're not going to do it. Because Microsoft now doesn't want to go in bad terms with Nintendo because they plan on putting Game Pass on there. Or at least a version of Game Pass on there.
Oh my god, there's a Hildebrand card coming out for the Magic Gathering. Sorry.
Well, Diablo, that is, you know, true. Because Pokemon in itself has been pretty crap over the last few versions of the game. It's run like crap. It's
And there's
looked
someone-
like crap. And, you know, in terms of what, you know, the actual game has deteriorated in terms of what it gives you. They're giving you like a third of the content that you would normally expect. And it's just weird. Like if you look at the Pokédex in the latest one, on one of the, I don't know, I think it was released like 3-4 years ago with Pokemon compared to like the other ones. It's like what, 200 the Pokédex was like 200-300 compared to the 1,000 that was available. And it's just bad, man.
I mean, they've always done that, right? Even when the old games, because they always cut previous ones from older generations. Oh. Yeah, there are over 1,000 Pokemon.
It was 400, right? So that's what I remember that. But the thing is, people have wanted an open world Pokemon where you could fly around and do this sort of thing for ages. And Nintendo just wouldn't deliver. So someone else came and done it for them. So why are they getting pissed off for? They've had ample time to deliver. All they've been doing is minimum viable product and saying, right, guys, we've changed the skin of one Pokemon. $70, please. Man, Nintendo is proper scum when it comes to this sort of thing. But the simple fact is, the moment you patent game mechanics, you are holding back the gaming industry. Look at, wasn't it Ubisoft that patented the Nemesis system? Which by and large has been regarded as a phenomenal mechanic that no one can use. Because it has a patent on there. And I'm sure loads of games would like to use it. But they're not going to pay Ubisoft the money for it. Instead of people crying about the Series S or X and Y or the Series P, you know, holding gaming back, People should be crying about this sort of stuff holding gaming back, because this is holding gaming back. You know, mechanics should never be patented.
Or if you're okay, if you're gonna patent it and you're gonna use it, it sucks, but fine. But like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Wonder Woman was supposedly gonna use it. Yeah, Wonder Woman was supposedly gonna use it until, well, that died.
Then Bags, you agree that holding video games back is cool. That's it. And that's okay. That's your opinion. Oh, right. I thought it was Ubisoft. It's not. It's Warner Brothers.
It's Warner Brothers, right? Well, thank you for having me on as always, Chaos.
You are most welcome. Do you want to plug your channel, dude? Where can people find you?
You can find me over on Holified Saying Gaming. We just hit 170 subscribers. We technically hit 171, but we lost a subscriber. But still, we hit 170. Again, thank you to everyone for the support. I tweeted out that I wanted to hit 200 by the end of summer, so we gained 4 subscribers since I said that. Our video, I made some Naruto videos recently, and they actually did really. One exploded for some reason. One's nearly at 400 views, which for a long form video, 38 minutes is actually pretty insane for me. So thank you to everyone for the support. It's actually a very old game, so the fact that it actually got anyone watching it all made me happy. Again, thank you to everyone that's come over. Thank you to the people that leave comments. Thank you for the love, and thank you, Chaos, for the help. And because, by the way, Chaos has helped me a lot behind the scenes with the channel. So thank you, Chaos, for everything you've done. From telling me about I need to get good at thumbnails, telling me I need to get good at putting tags, telling me I need to get good at descriptions. Chaos has helped me a lot. Seriously, I can't thank Chaos enough for everything that I've achieved. Seriously, I really can't. And of course, I've got to thank everyone in the chat as well for coming over and subscribing and helping. So thank you, everyone. And for those that leave comments and stuff as well. Like, thank you.
You are welcome, Chille. We are happy to have you here. But chat, that is going to be it. I will hopefully see you guys next week Tuesday, and for those of you that are gonna check me out over at Twitch, link in the description below. I might be streaming this weekend. Might be. It's maybe. I'll probably be playing some Woowa if I am. But hopefully I'll see some of you there. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video and on Tuesday. Alright, folks, that's it. Peace out, everyone. Thanks so much for
whoever
hanging out.
subscribed, thank you.
Like and subscribe.
Bye. Like and subscribe this video. Leave a comment down below if you're watching it later. Right, Bacon? I don't know.
Right, Bacon? Where did that come from? And Bags is indefensible. You know this, I know this, everyone knows this. Peace out, everyone.
Write the word chicken in the comments down below if you're watching this as a